Here, this wrist took everything.
Yeah.
You like this?
Hotep and Bill.
Kanye on that drum. All right, so welcome back to Sunday's Corner, everybody. How you doing, sis? Welcome to the show.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming through. If it seems like, oh, well, she's not even giving these people intros. No, I don't give them intros. I let them speak for them damn selves.
I thought my plight in life was about saving the world until I realized I didn't have the skills or the tools to save myself.
Yep. If you're not activating now, then what are you doing? Wasting my time, wasting your time. So let's go. Until next week.
Welcome. Her name is Kim Clayson. Clap it up for Kim Clayson. We love it. Kim Clayson, ladies and gentlemen. There she is.
It does look good. We are going to be flipping seats. Like I said, a lot of the states did go through redistricting. Maryland was one of them, Florida, New Jersey. So we'll be flipping a lot of seats in really good areas.
Sonny Johnson.
Oh, is it on? Like, it ain't like I'm not loud enough. You can't hear it. You know, I can be loud without anything. And that, you know, before that, I was always like, I'm Hotep Jesus. You know, I would always say that. But when you got to that point, when I was like, okay, now it's Hotep.
What point did you come to?
Hotep and Bill. The point where when you hit the realization that it's not about necessarily winning the argument or fighting with the left or fighting with, you know what I'm saying? No, it's not about that. Now, I'm going to create the platform where you can find the content.
These last 5 years of my life have been absolutely amazing, and Chad has been a mentor and helped shape my brain. So if they call me a radical, I've been radicalized by Chad. We can blame him. He's the one that turned me into an anarchist.
Who's the nigga black supremacy? Talking about you guys.
The person who made sure we were government compliant and made us a non-profit organization officially. Shout out to Trish. Did an amazing job helping me out. I really appreciate her. Shout out to Crypto Wendy for coming out. Thank you, Crypto Wendy. Wendy, shout out to Syscoin, our sponsor. You know, shout out to Brody McFarland.
Secret Service, my handler. Secret Service, arrogant like a mother.
I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How am I supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there, you understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.
Two, one, boom. Hotep Jesus.
Of all the Jesuses I know, he's the Hotepiest. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus.
How the fuck do you get a name like Hotep Jesus?
The one and only Hotep Jesus.
Ryan Sharp, better known to the world as Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody said, what do you think you are, some kind of Hotep Jesus?
Ooh,
and
that's
I was
good.
Just like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
What's up, people? Welcome to the Grift Report. It's the Grift Report where we keep the grifters honest, or we expose them, or we show people how to spot a grifter from a planet away. I'm your host, Hotep Jesus. You may have seen me on TV or Joe Rogan or somewhere else. Welcome to my world. Welcome to the Grift Report. Before we get into this, let's go ahead and hit my disclaimer here. This stream contains adult humor and was created strictly for comedic, artistic purposes. No offense is intended toward any products and individuals featured in this video. If you're easily offended, you know, if you're going to get all in your panties in a bunch because I said something you don't like, oh my God, this Hotep Jesus guy isn't what I thought he was. I can't believe this. Please just leave now. I'm going to do something that you're not going to like. That's what makes me different from the rest of the grifters. You know, most of the grifters are going to hit you with your talking points, are not going to deviate. And you guys are going to hit the like button. They're going to get millions of subscribers. Not me. I have this thing with me where I have to tell the truth. I don't know what it is, but I just have to tell people exactly what's going on. And when I can do that, you will know. It would be quite obvious that I'm hiding my power levels or hiding what I know. We make that quite apparent on this channel. We got a grifty show for you today. We have a really grifty show for you today. We're going to be talking about Vivek. I had a presentation for Vivek, and I decided that we're going to include that in today's stream. But before we do that, I need my theme music. I need my funky theme music. Maestro, play my tune.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, what you cooking? Step one, get into the word and get out the zoo. Step two, kill your old self and become new. Step three, turn from all the sinning that you used to do. Step four, tell the whole squad they can do it too. Christ walk, step. Hey, Christ walk, step. Hey, step. And soon you gon' have to put the meal down and get some meat. Preacher sound good when you a baby. Christ, that ain't that sweet. Easy being Christian on the net, but what about in them streets? We at war with all these evil rulers. Are you down for beef? You gon' get persecuted by the world, even by your friends. It's gon' be the closest people to you. You thought that's your man. Devil working, he gon' push the limit to see where you stand. Especially when you have a weak moment. He know that's his chance, but you down to lose for the kingdom. You might lose your bands. I mean, look at me as an example. I done lost my fans. All these demons trying to bring you down any way they can. Are you gonna endure it to the end? Tell me what's your plan. Step one, get into the word and get out the zoo. Step two, kill your old self and become new. Step three, turn from all the sinning that you used to do. Step four, tell the whole squad they can do it too. Christ walk, step. Still, hey, Christ walk, still, hey, still.
At this point, it's like common sense that he coming. So I ain't even really Christ walking, I'm running. From all of my sins, I'm making amends with all of the people I dislike. Because if I don't, then I'ma go down with the ones I dislike. Down with the wicked. Down and conflicted. Tell me, why would I ever risk it? This new life, why would I end it? I gave God my dependence. After he left his imprint, it was all switched in an instant. When I was transformed from a misfit, I gotta follow the covenant and get it right before he come again. On fire for Christ, I'm bubbling. Don't touch unless you got an oven mitt. Left everyone I was in trouble with. When I sacrificed it, he doubled it. I don't put faith in no other men. Yahweh is my only government. I'm the light child.
Step 1, get into the word and get out the zoo. Step 2, kill your old self and become new. Step 3, turn from all the sinning that you used to do. Step 4, tell the whole squad they can do it too. Christ walk, still, hey, Christ walk, still,
yeah, I say the old me dead in the cemetery. Go ahead and write that obituary. About to preach on a beat. I ain't go to.
Shout out to Bryson Gray. Off that new album, Letters to the Church 2, Part 2. Had to play that tune for Goldstein. Goldstein, that's my shit, man. That's my record right there, bro. Somebody in the chat said they got their 47 hat. I got 2 of these. I ordered, because what happened was I thought I got scammed. I went online and I tried to buy a MAGA hat, and it took me to, like, you know, the Chinese stuff, you know, Amazon or whatever. I was like, no, I want the official, you know, the one from Trump and them. So I thought I got scammed the first time, but I did something, wrong address or something. So I ended up ordering 2. So I got 2 of these. And they usually just like laying around on my desk. The other one is floating around the house. I got a 2.5-year-old, and at odd times in the day, she'll grab the MAGA hat on. She's running around the house with this MAGA hat on, which I think is absolutely beautiful because we don't fear Republicans or conservatives in this house. My black children know what the deal is. They're very aware. It's my daughter, you know, like I said, she's running around the house with the MAGA hat on, and I'll be wanting to take some video of her, but I hate grifting off of kids. I'm not Uncle Hotep.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Uncle Hotep is on vacation right now. Shout out to Uncle Hotep. He won't be here this Thursday, so we'll have Ken and Hotep standing in for him for the Hotep's Been Told You show. Unfortunately, so I can't rag on Uncle Hotep this week. I've been on his neck 3 weeks straight, and he ran the vacation. He's scared now. After I endured all that pressure all these years, 3 episodes in, he can't handle the heat. He better step them workout videos. I'm going to end up being his personal trainer, too, at some point. I'm going to do a live with him on TikTok, and we're gonna get him right. We're going to get him right. What up, chat? I see you, Robert Jones, Steph Colonel, Natasha Kayleen, Smart Money Chick. What up, Smart Money Chick? How y'all feeling, man? Shout out to my Rumblers rumbling. I see y'all. Natasha Kayleen over on Rumble, too. She double dipping. Ken and Hotep, what up? What up, Kay? I see you. We got Strong Dad in the chat, Big Ron, Hotep TV. Make sure y'all, if you on YouTube, I need y'all to make the transition to Rumble. The numbers are just amazing. I mean, 80-something thousand subscribers on YouTube. Only, you know, approaching 3,500 subscribers on Rumble. And we have more live streamers on Rumble than we do on YouTube. Somebody make that make sense. Somebody make that make sense. I know what it is. It comes down to the fact that Rumble is actually sending out notifications to my subscribers while YouTube is not. That I'm certain of. I'm absolutely certain of that. Send my notifications out, yo. Send my notifications out, YouTube. Stop blackballing, man. All right, let me move these screens over. We're going to get into the Grift Report. It's a messy Monday. It's a messy Monday for the Grift Report. Let's see here. Do I got the right screens open? I do. Okay, good. I was able to set things up. Oh my God. Uncle Hotep already on the wrong foot. Look at this. Just talking about him. He already off to a bad start. I don't like the way the screen looks. Hold on. Look at this. What is that? There's no way that's healthy. What is this, y'all? About to poke this poke bowl. What the hell is a poke bowl? Pause. What is that? I know it's not nothing that's conducive with a diet that says, I want to lose weight. Strong Dad gonna lose his mind when he see this. Strong Dad, don't look at Uncle Hotep's YouTube account. Please don't. I know you on vacation, man, but damn, you just put in all those kettlebell workouts. You're gonna have to double up the workouts when you get out. Wait till he meets the porcelain god later. It's gonna be ugly. Anyway, what do we got in the Grift bag? Let's open up the bag. I'm gonna show y'all what's in the bag. It's a lot of grift in here. It's a lot of grift in here. The quartering's in here twice. Shout out to the quartering. It's some race grifting in here. It's some relationship grifting in here. First things first, we're gonna start right here. We're gonna start with Uncle Hotep. Here, Uncle Hotep. Oh, I had the screen right. I'm sorry. Here, Uncle Hotep tweets out. He's on vacation this week. He says, "Going on vacation as a man just means your pockets are about to get ran." Facts.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
That's true. That is true. I'm not doing any more vacations. I went on. I didn't even want to go on the last vacation. I hated every moment of it. I wanted to be home working and streaming and trying to meet my goals, and I was pulled away from my post. And I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not going on any more vacations. That's it. My next trip is Hotep Con, and that's just it. I'll be on Tim Pool on the 28th. Other than that, I'm not doing vacations. And I got to tell you, my vacation I did was we did the Universal Studios thing at Disney, and I got to tell you, not worth it. Absolutely not worth it. Just a big, humongous scam. It was a scam. I really got scammed. I got scammed. It was a huge scam. All that money for nothing. For nothing. I could have took the kids to Busch Gardens or Six Flags, and they would have had a ball. Disney's way overpriced. Way overpriced. Way overpriced. So yeah, I'm just telling you right now, do not recommend. Do not recommend. If you somebody in your family, your wife talking about, hey, let's do Disney for the kids, fuck them kids. They don't need to see Mickey Mouse that bad. They don't need to see Donald Duck that bad. Goofy, Star Wars characters, Lion King. They don't need to see none of that stuff at all. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a waste of money. The rides are trash. It's about 2 good rides. The Hulk was dope. I got on a Hulk ride. That was dope. Got on there with my son. I got twin boys. One of them, he don't do roller coasters. The other one does. And I'm not really a roller coaster guy, but I was like, I'll take my son over here and we'll do this thing together. You said what? The quartering what? Quartering in here content Grift? In here the content Grift? Where's the quartering at? The quartering's in here? Jeremy, what up, man? What up, man? Anyway, let's go back to the Grift bag. I just had to put that on y'all desk. We're going to run through some of these stories so we can spend a lot of time focusing on Robert Ramaswamy. Robert Ramaswamy. I don't call him by his name, Vivek. His name's Robert Ramaswamy over here. If y'all have been following me for a while, y'all know that. Let's go right here. Cambridge Public Schools eliminated advanced math in middle school with the aim of reducing disparities between low-income children of color and their more affluent peers. But some families and educators argue the decision has had the opposite effect. Now, am I going to go and click on this article and start reading and making highlights? Absolutely not. I already know what's going on here, and I'm going to break it down for you. This is classic communism. And basically, with communism and progressivism, they promise a state of equality. And that state of equality is going to come in the form of squalor. Squalor. You will have nothing and you will be happy. And in some ways they're right. Like when I heard about I interviewed a Russian woman, and privately, just, I wanted to, find out what Russia was like during the Soviet Union, et cetera, et cetera. And she said, yeah, we had nothing, but we were happy. And in the United States, I think people have too much and they're unhappy. So there is some credence to that statement, you will have nothing and be happy. However, that's not what communism or communists purport that communism is going to look like. This is how we determine it. We say, you'll have nothing and you'll be happy. Anyway, communism seeks to have equality through squalor. You have equity of nothing. In this case, instead of teaching black children advanced math and bringing them up to the level of math, up to the level of their peers, instead they want to bring everybody down. So equality through squalor or being average. Now, why wouldn't they want black people to have math skills? Well, I think one major thing is Democrats are just racist. They've always been racist. They continue to be racist. They just shapeshift, so they appear less racist. And they really don't want black people doing for themselves because, as Sonny Johnson would say, the Democrats are the party of the poor, but they can't be the party of the poor if there is no poor. So they want to keep these people in a state of squalor so that they are always dependent and asking for handouts and always asking to be included in white people stuff, included in. Actually, I kind of want to get away because this isn't even a white thing anymore. Because if you got, red whites and blue whites, they're obviously different. So we'll have to give this another name. I'll think about it another time. I don't want to spend too much time trying to figure out what that name is, but we'll come up with a name for it. It'll probably happen accidentally in the stream. But the fact of the matter is, these progressives, they do practice a form of racism, but it's about creating a slave class and maintaining a slave class. And slavery doesn't look how it used to look. It looks much different now. You're a slave to your phone. You're a slave to Google. You're a slave to YouTube. You're a slave to talking points because they'll rip opportunity from you, get you canceled, get you fired from your job, get you kicked out of school, et cetera, et cetera. And I'll be having some guests on tomorrow. We're going to be talking about pandemic response. So I have some special guests coming on tomorrow's show and talking about pandemic response. You're going to see exactly some examples of that. Real quick, if you're not a part of my locals community, become a part of my locals community. I have a bunch of new clips that came out exposing the teachers unions. So if you're on my locals, go access those. Those are for you. I want you to post them on TikTok, Instagram, wherever, YouTube Shorts, Rumble, Twitter. Post them and I'll share them. Tag me. So if you're on Rumble, hit join button. It'll take you right to my locals. Anywho. So now the second thing about this is the fact that they don't need Americans. You got to remember that communism is all about destroying nationality. Okay? Communism is all about destroying nationality. So in order to destroy nationality, you have to obfuscate the current population. They're going to do that with illegal and legal immigration. And we know that the immigrants that are coming over here legally are in advanced math. We have people coming from India and we have people coming from China and various countries where math is taught at a much earlier stage. I know when my brother and sister came here from Jamaica many moons ago, my brother graduated high school at 16 because the math they did in Jamaica was far ahead of the math he was doing here in America. Same thing with my sisters. They were far more advanced because America obviously is the dumbing down of the population, because dumb population won't be able to see your little grifty tricks. So because they already have all of the math geniuses they need, what they need now is a dumb class that they can just make pawns for socialism And to go a bit further into that, basically what happens is they want to move these people into, welfare classes. If you don't have a poor, how do you have a need for universal basic income to further destroy the country? So you got to change the complexion of the country through the southern border and other, legal immigrants. So you don't need anybody good at math. If you're going to be good at math, you're going to be good at math. And the people that are affluent at the top, they're going to make sure that their kids go to private schools, and they're going to have that. But as far as the rest of us, so I homeschool my kids, and we lean heavily on math. In fact, we mostly do pure math. I don't spend much time on other subjects. When you go do the SAT, it's math and it's English. There is no science in there. There is no chemistry or physics questions on the SATs. It's just math and science, and they look at your math scores and very heavily. Same thing with the IQ test. There's a lot of math on the IQ test. So so we spend a lot of time on chess and math, big brain stuff, and then the rest of the time we supplement with other subjects. But we do math 5 days a week, and we do advanced math. So they're one full grade above their grade as far as math is concerned. And we do about, I would say, a year's worth of math in about 3 months. So that's that. So I just want to break that down for you, put that across your desk here. Let's go back in the Grift bag, see what else we have here to offer. And sometimes I put stuff in the Grift bag, and I by the time I hit the live button, I'm just not interested in covering it for whatever reason. So I might scroll past some of this stuff. Oh, yeah, this Trump clip. We're going to talk about this Trump clip. I don't want to get into the relationship and the black stuff yet, but I do want to leave a lot of room to cover the Vivek stuff. Let's watch this. Let's watch this clip right here. One of my producers told me this was grifty worthy. So let's take a look at this. I didn't watch it yet, so we'll watch it together. Let's see.
I invite you to rise in body or spirit, and let us confess our faith today in the words of the Sparkle Creed. I believe in the non-binary God, whose pronouns are plural.
Oh, my God. God got pronouns now. Now we giving God pronouns. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord Jesus. Not even God is safe. Somebody says, so okay, Baphomet. All right. Yeah, I've held back on talking about Baphomet for some time now, and I think this is a good time to educate you on the story of Baphomet. Now, and we have to clear the air here. So listen, please listen up, people, because I need you guys to just stop right now with how you perceive Baphomet. Okay? Now, let's start with the wrong, and then we'll tell you the right. So the wrong is Baphomet is some sort of symbol or idol of occultism. The Illuminati worship it or use it, or it's a reflection of them, or, something that says, this is something that the Illuminati is dealing with, right? And that's not true. That's just not true. Once upon a time, there were occultists like Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, this is Sir Francis Bacon, right? These guys were all occultists. They were practicing mysticism, et cetera, et cetera. And you remember once upon a time in Europe, they were burning witches. They had the huge witch hunt, et cetera, et cetera. Europe is so savage in their history. It's really, really weird what they do over there. Throughout their history, it's just lots of persecution of various groups, and then come to find out that they were wrong. Anyway, so what happened was, because people were practicing occultism, and some of you are like, oh my God, occultism bad. Occultism means hidden from most people. And because it had to be hidden because, you know, you'd be murdered if they found out you were doing something other than what the Bible said. Anyway, so what happened was they created this thing called the Baphomet, and the Baphomet was actually created to make fun of the occultists. It was created to make fun of mystics, people who were doing visualization and meditation and a lot of the stuff that you see, you know, yoga teachers do now, the different mudras, affirmations and all this stuff. And it was created to actually make fun of occultists. It wasn't created by occultists. It was created to make fun of occultists. So when people say the occultists use Baphomet, that's actually wrong. They did that to persecute occultists. So let's just clear the air on that. A little bit of history for you.
I believe in Jesus Christ, their child, who wore a fabulous tunic and had 2 dads, and saw everyone as a...
Wait, what? What'd she just say? Jesus had 2 dads.
And had 2 dads, and saw everyone as a sibling child of God. I believe in the rainbow spirit who shatters our image of
the rainbow spirit.
One white light and refracts it into a rainbow of gorgeous diversity.
Damn, they done put the prism in this. They done put the prism in this. Light refracting through the prism, exposing the colors of the, what is that, the UV light? The spectrum of colors. Not even that safe. The crazy thing is the rainbow flag is in the opposite order of the scientific rainbow. Oh my God, this is terrible.
I believe in the Church of Everyday Saints, as numerous, creative, and resilient as patches on the AIDS quilt.
This is why white women get a bad rap. And this is why I got to get away from, because not all white women are like this. But this is why white women get a bad rap, because what the fuck? What the fuck? What do we call these people? I need a name for these people that's not white. But even though it's always white women that are leftists, what do we call them? Because they're definitely Caucasian. They're definitely of European descent. But we got to give them a whole new... They're so out of bounds, I can't even come up with a name for these people.
Whose feet are grounded in mud and whose eyes gaze at the stars in wonder. I believe in the calling to each of us that love is love is love. So beloved, let us...
Now, we can't do hippies, man. We can't diss the hippies like that. We can't call them hippies, man.
Love. I believe, glorious God, help my unbelief. Amen.
Damn, they done brought God into this shit. Anybody tag Bryson Gray in this, see what he thought about this? I'm about to tag him right now. Can we say a prayer for these people or let them go to hell? Let's ask Bryson. You know,
I invite you to rise.
He's the evangelist on the timeline. What'd you say, chat? Hold on. Chat's talking to me. Hold on a second. Man, HJ, if you don't call him what they are, they're Europeans. That's European customs and practices, bro. It is. It is. It is. It is. You're right. He said Jeff Charles started using people of whiteness. Oh, I like that. I like that.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
I didn't mean to hit that button. They're not even Wiccan, right? And I, you know, I'm probably gonna lose some of y'all with this, but I like the Wiccan stuff. I like witches. I like that witch stuff, man. It's really interesting what they do. I know that's gonna get me canceled by all the Bible worshipers. I'm sorry, y'all. But like I said, you're gonna be offended when I'm gonna say something on this stream that's because I'm just a really open-minded person. Anyway, let's go back in the bag. What's in here? What's in here? What else is in this bag? All right, let's go to the quartering. He said, today I learned that a big conservative, quote, unquote, influencer chick used to sell her underage nudes to gamers. Now, I remember at the beginning of the stream, I told you, I said that there are some things that I'm willing to talk about, and there's a point where I'm going to say something, or I'm not going to say something, that I have knowledge of, and I know who he's talking about. I'm almost 90% sure I know who he's talking about. I'm 90% sure I know who he's talking about. But you know what? Shit ain't none of my business.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I just want to know who the fuck was buying them shits. You nasty fucking scumbag. He was buying the shit? Oh my God. Oh Lord, have mercy. The devil works in mysterious ways. So, we'll wait and see how that story develops, and I'm just going to watch. I ain't saying nothing. I just watch the grifters try to out-grift each other, and I play the background. Here's another one from the quarter in here. He says, community notes, never misses. And here we have a tweet from Biden. He says, 1 year after its launch, our administration's 988 suicide and crisis hotline has helped 5 million Americans when they needed it most. Community Note says 988 was signed into law in 2019 under the Trump administration. Savage. Shout out to the community notes. Kwabena says, does her name start with a B? No. It does not. It does not. Is Vivek being interviewed? No, I'm not interviewing Vivek. No, I don't have any context to him at the moment, and I probably never will interview him. Chances are. You said Malaysian Elon man. The Malaysian Elon man probably was buying them. I wouldn't doubt that. What's going on YouTube? Let me check my YouTubers. What up, YouTube? Oh, Lord have mercy. He said Jeremy can get gossipy. Yeah, Jeremy does get a little gossipy. He gets a little chatty patty. You know what I'm saying? But that's what Jeremy does. YouTube, I'm not talking to y'all. I'm not talking to YouTube. Let me go back to Rumble where it's safe. I see YouTube posting names and shit. They over here taking guesses. I ain't saying nothing. My name's Bennett, and I ain't in it. It's wild out here. It is absolutely wild. I just stay in the cut and mind my business. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers take shots at me all the time. I be letting that shit slide because, I ain't got the time. I gotta serve my community. All right, where do I want to go? Where am I? Where is my grift senses moving me right now? All right, let's go to Hotep Goldstein. Hotep Goldstein got something for us. Damn, this is 4 minutes long, Goldstein. I'm about to hit you with the, let's catch you in the middle with it.
Idea. Meanwhile, everything goes on unfettered. All of the same shit continues to roll along. That's what it's looking more and more like. That's what his presidency amounts to at this point, in my opinion. The guy who was gonna fucking raise a ruckus, right? Get people all involved, right? Emotionally, and have everybody looking way the fuck over here when they should have been looking way the fuck over there. He was the Pied Piper. And a damn good one. That's what he did better than any other president in the history of this fucking country. He managed to calm the shit out of his voter base to such a degree that the shit that he said early on in his president is more true now than it was when he said it. And that is, he could stand in broad daylight and bust a motherfucker down. No consequences. Yes, his fucking cult-like following has gotten him to that point. So, my suggestion would be, at this point, fuck voting for that nigga. Fuck voting for him. Fuck voting for DeSantis and the Viveks and the Haleys. Fuck that whole goddamn side of the aisle, the Republicans. And that goes double for the other side of the aisle. If you're going to vote in this sham of an election, I implore you all, vote for Uncle Hotep. He can get his kettlebell on in the Oval Office. Have a nice day.
Uncle Hotep 2024, Goldstein. Goldstein said, we're not voting for Republicans or Democrats. We voting for Uncle Hotep. Lord have mercy. Goldstein, I need you to call in and explain what's going on with this grift, man. I need to know. Laura Loomer, she says, I will be releasing a bunch of reports exposing Ron DeSantis' donors this week. His first FEC report for his presidential campaign was filed over the weekend, and I'm going through it with a fine-tooth comb. DeSantis' campaign raised just over $20.4 million. This was achieved through 16,841 individual transactions for an average donation of over $1,200 per transaction. It's pretty high. He's not exactly a man of the people, and he's definitely not grassroots. Man. Oh, man. So keep your eyes glued to Laura Loomer. We got more on that coming from her later this week. When she drops those receipts, you know I'm going to cover it. We're going to talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. All right, let's dive into let's go before we go to the Trump clip. Let's talk about race and relationships. Let's start with race. You know, we cover race and relationships on this channel. Let's dive right in. People are saying this is Hassan Piker. Some people are saying it's not. I don't know. He's definitely grifting. Guys, he's doing this in like a, what is that? Some sort of inflatable raft in a pool. This is definitely grifty. Anytime somebody goes over the top with their background and, you know, it's definitely grifty. Like, you could have did this in the office. He decided to do this fully clothed in a pool. It's not like he's in his trunks or anything. No, he was like, hey, you know, it'd be really cool if I did this in the pool. So this guy's definitely getting his grift on.
This is the reason why men don't want to date black women.
So he's got a UK accent. He's going to explain why people don't want to date, why men don't want to date black women.
If you're watching this and you're a black woman, listen carefully, okay? It's not racism. I'm not racist. My friends aren't racist. I'm speaking for all men. They're not racist, right? It's nothing to do with racism. It's to do with being masculine and aggressive. No guy wants to date a woman who's so masculine and aggressive. The average woman, the black American woman, is 180 pounds. Man's coming like Israel Adesanya, middleweight UFC champion. I don't want to date Israel Adesanya. 180 pounds. That's average. That's crazy, meaning more than half of the black American women are above 180. They're coming like Brock Lesnar. And the problem is they're looking up to people like Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion. Cardi B has literally been on interview saying multiple times how she's drugged people, stole their money, done all these horrible things, and you have all these black women saying she's a queen, she's a queen. The problem with so many of these black women is they're so fat and bulky, right? And they're acting like, why am I not being treated like this European model? Because you're not a model.
Well, let me just stop right there and add this. Project Rook did some research and found out that in the United States, men tend to be overweight more often than women. Men in America are more overweight than women. I don't know what that looks like based upon race, but just wanted to throw that out there.
It's nothing to do with your color. It's just she's a beautiful model. She looks amazing. You are massive. Oh, but I'm big boned. Look, black people have great genetics. They're very strong. But the problem is with black women is it just makes them go so fucking crazy and psycho, and they want to beat everyone up, and they become so aggressive. Relax. No one's trying to take your chicken. You just need to relax a minute. That's why people don't want to date you. It's not because of it's not because of your skin color. It's nothing to do with racism at all. Read the whiteboard if you're getting confused. These are the problems. Masculine, aggressive, not racism. It's nothing to do with racism. If any of you black women want to debate me, you're more than welcome to come to the pond. I will debate you live in this pool, in my kayak. You can be sat there and I will tell you the exact same things. But if you're as big as Brock Lesnar, then you can't come.
comes off as like a wannabe Andrew Tate. That's how he comes off. He's like a discount Andrew Tate. Here's the truth. Are black women more aggressive than other types of women? And the answer to that is yes, they are. However, they tend to be aggressive to weed out bitch assness. I've experienced firsthand some of the most ghetto black women, most aggressive. I'm talking about beating up the boys in the neighborhood aggressive. Come around me and turn into the most docile feminine creature around me. And this is human nature. People tend to treat you how you allow them to treat you. People tend to treat you how you allow them to treat you. So if you're experiencing aggression from women or black women, well, then you might be a bitch. And the thing is about being in the hood is you get really good at detecting bitch assness. And in the hood, you know, you learn how to spot the weak, and then the weak tend to get picked on most. And we covered this on the stream last time. But the truth of the matter is, like I said, some of the most aggressive black women. I mean, multiple times in my life, I've come across, you know, black women and people say, oh, you know, it's too aggressive. Then they get around me and they're just like soft and feminine and da-da-da-da. And the thing is, they test you. In the hood, you get tested, okay? So black women will test you. They will say something just to see how you react. And based upon your reaction is going to dictate to them how much they're going to drop their guard and how they're going to treat you going forward. So they may say something like, why you got them shoes on? And if you get your panties in a bunch, well, guess what? They're going to be like, oh, he's a bitch, and I'm going to turn him. I'm going to expose him for being a bitch, and things could escalate. But if they might test you and you come back and you say something witty, they go, oh, this is a man. Like, imagine this is the best example I can give you. Imagine you're 007, Bond, James Bond. And a woman says something to James Bond that is a joke, teasing. How does James Bond respond? I mean, this is one of the elite white men characters ever. You think James Bond is going to be in his feelings because a woman commented on his outfit? No, he's going to have a witty response, and then later on, he's going to be banging this chick. This is what it is to be a man. You got to have iron skin. So no matter who it is that teases you, male, female, white, black, or tests you, you have to be resilient. And if people can get under your skin, well, you're just a bitch. So although, you know, black women tend to be more aggressive than other women, I don't find that as a reason to not date them. I think you know, the level of your masculinity is going to dictate how feminine she becomes. Some of you have problems, you know, getting women to submit. And I wrote a book for you. No, that's the Hotep Nation website. Let's go to HotepJesus.com. I'm going to show you right here. I wrote a book for y'all. Let's go to my website. Hold on. You're going to come down here and you're going to click on this one in the middle, right? It's going to say make or submit. It's going to say right here. Let me see. You can make sure you see that on the screen. Good. Attention men. Learn how to make nearly any woman you're interested in submit to you and practically beg for it too. So you go get a copy of this and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about in this document. It's only $14. Get the PDF from my website. You'll get it delivered immediately. All right. Guaranteed safe checkout and all of that. It's the Unbreakable Rules of Masculinity covered by none other than Rollo Tomasi. You get 118 pages of Hotep gloriousness. And yeah, $14 is a steal. Can't beat it, man. So, you know, I suggest you read this and you'll see how you can make women become docile and be feminine. And you know, when it comes to submission, women submit to men. They don't submit to boys. I'll say that again. Women submit to men. They don't submit to boys.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
So if you have a problem with a woman submitting to you, the problem isn't her. The problem is you. With that being said, let's go back in the grift bag. I know there's some race grift in here. That was the race grift. Let's go to the relationship grift. Speaking of black women, let's look at a black relationship with a black woman. Let's pull this up. Hold on. Make sure you guys can see it. You can see that, right? Okay, good. Let's play the tape. Telling my daughter's father I terminated child support. So she had him on child support, and then she's since taken him off. And this is the conversation.
Did your credit score go up?
Why, you took me off?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I didn't know child support affects your credit. Is that true? Any child support experts in here? Credit experts in here? I had no idea. K Greeny said, HJ, when you say submit, it makes you sound like you want her to be your slave. Oh, wait. Hold on. What did Rook say about this? Rook said submission, that's not the definition of submission. She said submission is more about, I forget the word she used, but she said like it's more about being open, being receptive. That's really what it's about. MoFax said, what up, Mo? MoFax in the chat. Sir Gobbledygook said, HJ, you've been out the dating market so long, it ain't the same. Listen, bro. The dating game could change, but bitches is the same. Show me a bitch that you can't get, I'll show you how to get her. Show me a bitch you can't. Listen, I hate to expose myself at this point, but women throw panties in my DMs, bro. Women throw panties in my DMs. The OnlyFans hoes throw panties in my DMs. The married women throw panties in my DMs. They see me on Gutfeld and there's panties in my DMs. If I open up my DMs, and they range from 25 to 85. The dating game might have changed, but these bitches is the same. So if you having a problem, you gotta check yourself, homie. You need to copy the Unbreakable Rules of Masculinity. And if you need a little consultation, you could book a consultation with me. We could sit down for an hour and I can help you out. Someone else said, if you think submission is slavery, then you need help ASAP. I agree, Prom L. I agree. And the thing about submission is people think it's a one-way street. Man must submit and woman must submit. The thing is you must master when and where to submit. But no, that's not what it means, K Green. The K Green submission does not mean slavery. You know what I'm saying? He said, Hotep out here grifting draws off. I'm glad I'm married. Listen, okay? I got some stories, all right? I got stories I can't tell y'all. But if you come to HotepCon,
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I'll tell you about these women. I'm not going to tell you who or what women, because that would just be unbecoming of a Hotep. But I got some stories about these bitches. I'll show you how to get women. And I'll show you how to... Really, my book doesn't teach you how to get women. Technically, it teaches you how to make women come to you. And the first step in that is being a badass. You gotta be strong, you gotta be masculine, you gotta be sure, you gotta be confident, you gotta be secure. That's where it starts. Women see your security and they moist already. You see what I'm saying? They moist just from your security and your confidence. HotepCon is August 17th to the 20th. Come out, man. If you come out there, I'll tell you the story, man. Go get your tickets right now. HotepCon. Use coupon code Hotep Jesus for 10% off. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go back to this video. This is sad.
You joking?
I went down there today and took you off. The paperwork is in the car.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They just start taking money on my check.
Only got $40.
Yeah, it's at 41.
But I decided to take you off today.
Oh, thank you so much.
Since you've been very consistent with having Zavia, I appreciate you.
That's my job.
Hmm?
That's my job.
Indeed it is, but you know, still.
Real quick before I forget, my stance on child support. If I were president, there would be no child support. We would abolish it immediately.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Child support system would be abolished immediately. Immediately. You do not get child support. You cannot ask the government to come help you manage your pussy. No, no. If you opened your legs for some ain't shit ass dude, you got to live with the consequences of it. If the daddy ran out on you, you should have chose better, bitch. Now, I'm not letting him off the hook, but we're not helping you out either. It's not the government's job to come between the family. There's nothing in the Constitution about that. There's nothing in the Constitution about child support and daddyism and all of that. No, no. But they created a system of child support, and all it did was divide families. It turned into a tool for spiteful women. You're mad at your baby daddy, so you go and you run down and you put him on child support. No, no. And you know, really what this did was it made it so that people didn't learn the skills for cooperation. Relationship cooperation. You didn't have to learn the skills. Baby daddy acting up, go to Uncle Sam. Now he's back and he's spending time with his daughter, blah, 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 blah. No, you should have been able to handle this like adults. Sit down and let's talk this out. Let's figure out what's going on here. But all it does is just enables immaturity.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
That's love.
Now she recording him. She grifting off of him. That's just terrible right there. That's terrible right there. That's absolutely terrible right there. Recording him. And he's happy. He's happy. As he should be. You know, there was this list of, I saw on Instagram, was this list of things that, the top things that make a man happy. And one of them was when his girl takes him off child support. It's like top 5. That's sad.
I had the option of taking you off and leaving the arrears there. But I was like...
You took the arrears off too?
So he was in arrears, meaning he wasn't even paying. So she took the arrears off. Good for her. I'm glad to see this relationship is going in the right direction. And I don't know what state it is, but once you take them off, you can't put them back on, depending on what state you are. So he could wild out now.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that?
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Your credit scores. I see what you do with it now.
Oh my God.
She treating him like that's her mother. Let's see what you do with it now. She treating him like she his mama. He said, "Oh my God, it's better than Christmas."
It's better than Christmas. Well, you don't get anything on Christmas.
She said, "It's better than Christmas." Well, you don't get anything on Christmas, bro. I'm telling you. When it comes to the gender thing, men got it bad out here. Men got it bad out here. We got it life way harder than women. And I think the best example to show that men have it worse than women is not the videos of men doing hard labor. It's not the statistics of suicide. It's not the statistics of job-related deaths. No. If you really want to know how hard it is to be a man, all you got to do is look at some of the stories from the people who have transitioned from being a woman to a man and see what they say. A lot of them started unaliving themselves. I think that's what I'm supposed to say as a streamer. I think that's the thing everybody says now, right? Unalive themselves. So he unalived themselves. I think that's the best example of it all. And I really gotta applaud women who have deadbeat dads and don't go to child support and say, I'll do this another way. I gotta applaud you because you're a really upstanding individual. Once you're in a relationship and y'all arguing over money, it's all downhill from there. It's all downhill from there. You know, once you having money problems in a relationship, you gotta let that bitch go. You gotta let it go. When a bitch start bitching about money, cut her off ASAP. ASAP. That's one of your red flags, fellas. That's one of your red flags. When a woman starts complaining about money in your relationship, that's a red flag. Cut her off. She's wasteful and she needs too much. She needs way too much to make her happy. If money is going to make a woman happy, she'll never be happy.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
If money is going to make a woman happy, she'll never be happy. What does Coach EO always say? What do women want? More. What do women want? More. You get her a house, you want more. Get her a car, she want more. Get her a vacation, you want more. Get her a yacht, she gonna want a bigger yacht. Get her a bigger yacht, she gonna want a bigger yacht. Buy her an island, she gonna want a bigger island. She want a country. Now she want a planet. You can't really satisfy. Happiness is not found outside. Happiness is found inside, within yourself. If she can't find happiness in herself, she's broken. She's broken. Somebody broke her daddy, her mama, life, something broke her. And she needs to figure out how to patch that up. She's got to figure out how to patch that up. So if you got a woman out here complaining about you don't make enough money and all this shit, tell that bitch bye. Bye, bitch. There's plenty of women out here. And you know what? She's going to be upset because 10 years later, you're going to have massive amount of success. You're going to have all this money. And you know what? You're going to have a new bitch. And your new bitch, she's not even going to care about money. She's not going to ask you for anything. She's going to love you for you. And your old bitch is going to be in a relationship with a rich dude, and she's going to be miserable. She's going to be absolutely miserable. She have all the things she wants. She have a Porsche outside, a house, a yacht, an island, and she's going to be absolutely fucking miserable. She's going to be crying her eyes out every night. So, people, don't find happiness in things. Find happiness within yourself. Find peace and resolve. All right, that's enough. That's enough on relationships. Let's go to Trump and Vivek next. Let me reach my hand back down in the Grift bag. Where is it? 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 Here we go. Trump out here grifting. I already know who he's grifting for, too.
You said you could...
And also, with regard to the Ukraine question, I cannot reveal to you on this stream what the ultimate plot of Ukraine is. But if you come to HotepCon, I'll tell you.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
And I'm not just saying that to sell tickets. I'm saying that because it's not safe to say online. It's just not safe. And I'm going to show you that in this clip right here. Watch.
End the war in Ukraine in 24 hours.
Yes, I
How
do.
would you do that?
I know Zelensky very well. I felt he was very honorable because when they asked him about the perfect phone call.
Also, you have to look at the question. I know some people are saying, Trump would support the campaign in Ukraine, but she really asked the question as if he already is down for it. What would you do if you had to end it in 24 hours? So let's see what he says.
That I made. He said it was indeed. He said it was. He didn't even know what they were talking about. He could have grandstanded. Oh, I felt threatened.
Well, that's not going to be enough for Putin to stop bombing Ukraine.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I know Zelensky very well and I know Putin very well, even better. And I had a good relationship, very good with both of them. I would tell Zelensky, no more. You got to make a deal. I would tell Putin, if you don't make a deal, we're going to give them a lot. We're going to give them more than they ever got if we have to.
You said you could end the war in Ukraine.
I'm not mad at that take, actually. I didn't watch this video. I just saw the captions pull away. And I'm actually not mad at it. He's basically saying, look, he's basically playing arbiter. He's saying, look, Zelensky, you bullshitting. Stop it. Come to the table. Putin, come to the table. And if you don't, well, we're going to let the hammer go. I'm actually not mad at that take. I'm really not mad at that take. I thought I was going to be, upset at this take, but here's the fact of the matter. When it comes to support in Ukraine, And I learned this from my interview with Seb Gorka. I interviewed Seb Gorka, and Seb was pro-Ukraine, basically saying, yo, we got to stop Putin. Now, Seb is in a whole nother upper echelon of society that I one day hope to see, and I will see. But what I know is, at a certain point, the higher you rise, the more you have to play the game. The higher you rise, when you're in the game, the more you have to stick to the rules. And for some reason at the top, the rule is, whether you're a leftist or you're a rightist, you got to support the Ukraine campaign. Even AOC was attacked. They said, you said you were anti-war. Why are you supporting Ukraine? Because she has to. There's something happening behind closed doors. I know if we do a money search on it, we're going to find out the truth. But I know what the campaign in Ukraine is really about. I've known it from day one, mostly because I've spent a tremendous amount of time studying Russian history. Most of it concentrated on the Bolshevik Revolution. But in studying the Bolshevik Revolution, I had to study general Russian Revolution. So I've listened to hours of documentaries, lectures, college lectures. I listened to it all on YouTube, all the good stuff, actually. So with that, coupled with my general world history, I know exactly what the campaign in Ukraine is all about. I know exactly what that's all about. But if I say it, I'll get canceled. And I'm not, and even the answer is, I'm not saying it, because it's bad. I just know what the plot is. I just know why they want that region. I know who wants that region. And I know why. So like I said, I'll tell you at HotepCon. I'll tell you at HotepCon. Come to HotepCon and remind me. I'm not going to say it like in the middle of a talk. We'll have to pull you aside. You'll pull me aside and say, Hotep, what's up with Ukraine? And I'll tell you. Putin just promised response to Kerch bridge bombing. Yeah, I saw that. I tend not to do international news too much. I try to stay away from it, mostly because I hate when you got all these people in Malaysia, Thailand, UK, and they come grift off of U.S. politics. It's like, no, why don't you worry about the politics of where you from? You can't even carry a spoon in the UK. You want to talk about United States politics. No, focus on your own country and what y'all got going on over there. You dig me? So, yeah. All right, let's go to Vivek. We're gonna expose Vivek, then we're gonna really do a deep dive into Vivek. I don't know what I'm gonna say, but we're gonna do a deep dive into Vivek really fast. The personality, I should say, of Vivek. The griftiness of Vivek. So, all right, let's just start here. So Vivek, he's a talking point master. So, here he is sticking to the talking points. This subject has nothing to do with, being a politician. This is just pure lip service, but let's listen to him.
I'm proud to say that I have signed the Concerned Women for America Legislative Action Committee pledge. It was an easy pledge to sign, and I think a big part of why is that it's founded on truth. There are two sexes, period. And when someone identifies as a gender different from their biological sex, especially a kid, that is indicative of a mental health condition. The compassionate thing to do is not to affirm that confusion. That is not compassion. That is cruelty. It is cruelty to everyone. And I have pledged to actually protect women from this toxic expansion of definitions of gender, to say that women will be able to compete in sports as the law demands, that women will be able to carry out their functions, that the only people who actually are able to give birth to children are by definition women. Our country is founded on the truth. We should not apologize for the truth. That's what it means to be an American. And that's what it meant to me to sign this pledge.
So he signed a pledge, which basically means nothing, right? But is he wrong? Let's start there. Is he wrong? No. Is what he said right? Yes, absolutely. He's on point. He's on point. The problem is that, you know, being that I am the one, and I can see, like I don't even see Vivek. I see Robert Ramaswamy, and he's green. He's like green, and it's like these little streams from the Matrix flying down, and it's just saying grifter, 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 grifter. He just reeks of dark side grift. Like it's really hard for me to explain it, mostly because I was born with the innate ability to read people. Okay, I was born with the innate ability to read people, and I'm sort of a psychologist, and he's just not real. He's not real. Robert Ramaswamy's not real. It's not a real person. He's a fraud. He just comes off so fraudulent. And we got a little bit. Let's go here. DC Drano. He says, here is Vivek cheering on Biden for making vaccines available to all adults in 2021. Biden would try to force them into every man, woman, and child. Some of us were against these untested vaccines from day one. Others cheered on Biden. Eyes wide open to who Vivek truly is. And here we have a tweet. It says, Biden says all adults will be vaccine eligible by May 1. That's good news. Give credit where credit is due. So again, you know, these fair weather politicians, you know, move where the breeze is blowing. We know that the GOP and the DNC, we know Republican, establishment Republicans, establishment Democrats were all pro-vaccine. We know that. We know that. We know that. And they were exposed for it. You know, for example, I always talk about Big Boss Ben, right? Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro was like, yo, go out and get your vaccine. You're stupid if you don't, right? So like all the establishment people were pro-vaccine. So is it shocking to see Robert Ramaswamy pushing the vaccine? Absolutely not. But why would he do that? Well, I know there's some speculation about how he helped develop it or some technology or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't like to dive all deep into that stuff. You guys can go somewhere else for that. But this is the Grift Report. We just expose grifters here. And yeah, so actually, let me just go to the next piece, right? Because there's more here. There's more here. Hold on. Here we go. Here's another one. Here is Vivek supporting masks. Wearing a mask equals personal responsibility. This is 7/9/20. At this point, we were all saying no to masks. Wearing a mask equals personal responsibility. It's puzzling when the conservatives oppose it. See? It's puzzling when conservatives oppose it. Who was this guy before he understood the talking points and how to grift off of the public? Who was he? Where was he? See, there's really like a certain order of things. And the first order is to show that you are complicit with the establishment. You will back the establishment. Okay? That's what they first want to know. Once you do that, then you can pretend to be anti-establishment all you want. But you first have to signal and say, hey, I'm down with the game. Okay? He says, but before deriding them, remember this. CDC and WHO discouraged wearing masks in March. A noble lie to save masks for healthcare workers. Institutional lying erodes public trust. So this is where he tries to make the CDC and the WHO look bad because their recommendations were changed. Blah, 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 blah. But, you know, he can't get over on me. He can't get over on me. And there's somebody else he can't get over on. And we're going to bring that up shortly. Let me just make sure we don't have... I hate this thing with the bookmarks, man. Like, it glitches and brings me back to old versions and whatnot. So is that all on? Yeah. All right. So now let's go to the extensive part of this. Vivek on the Breakfast Club. Let's pull this up.
Sure, Teslin has some questions. Tez, you good?
Yes, I do. So I've heard a lot of, you know, what you think and your vision, and I'm a very practical person, and I want to kind of, opposed to talking about your opponents, let's talk about you for a moment, and let's actually talk about your policy. Explain to me your position on this civic duty voting.
Sure. So my position is, I think that every kid who graduates from high school should know the minimums about the country that we require an immigrant to know about the country in order to become a citizen. So there's a test. my mom had to pass it. Every immigrant has to pass it to this country. That asks you some basic questions. What are the 3 branches of government? What branch of government does the U.S. president lead? Some basic questions about what is the Bill of Rights. It's like a multiple choice exam, or some of them you write in. I think that if we're going to ask immigrants to pass that test, as we should, I think every 18-year-old who graduates from high school should have to pass that as well, because young people, it goes back to that issue of pride. You don't value a country that you don't know something about. You don't value something you inherit.
I just want y'all to, I just peeped this Love is Love rainbow in the background of Breakfast Club. Now, Breakfast Club is one of the most influential platforms in black culture. You see the Love is Love rainbow in the background? Nasty work, bro.
Value something you have a stake in creating, in building, or knowing something about. So how do we think big about this? Well, young people, as I told you, most of them, very few of them vote as it stands today. Super small numbers. And apparently 60% of them say they would rather give up their right to vote than give up TikTok. Well, I say, all right, let's take that to the next level. How about we do something that raises the voting age from 18 to 25, but you still get to vote at 18. Mm-hmm. If you just pass that same civics test that an immigrant has to pass in order to vote. And tests aren't for everybody, so be it. Then you at least serve in the military or a first responder role for 6 months. That's my civic duty voting proposal. And the reason is, I'll actually make a prediction. I think youth voting in this country will skyrocket. From a very low level right now, it will skyrocket because you value something you actually have to earn. And I think that this is not a left-wing or right-wing point. We all have duties as citizens, right? You know, we aspire to free market capitalism, right? Materialist advance. And that's the life I've lived as well, by the way. My parents came to this country with not a lot of money. I've lived the American dream. I've made a lot of money by building businesses. That's one side of what it means to be an American. But part of it is we also have duties to this country. And I think the more we wake that up, actually, the voting age only became 18 in 1971 in the context of the Vietnam draft. So I just think reviving those ideas is going to be good for us.
A lot. So let's prove your point. Nick, our camera guy, do you know the 3 branches of the federal government?
Over 24, so it don't matter.
But I'm just saying, but nobody knows there are 24. Red, do you know the 3 branches?
Executive.
Well, I got a test. I would like to see if you're willing to pass, because I believe in, just as you believe in civic engagement.
Now, let me just stop right there. So this concept of having a voting, a civics test for youth, I'd like to expand it. I think every single voter needs to take that test. And one of the questions on there needs to be, is communism good or bad? And if you put good, you can't vote.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway, enough with the banter. I agree, but I don't think it should be age limited. If you ain't passed this civics test, if you don't know how the Constitution works, because a lot of these leftists don't know what the Constitution, how the Constitution works, how the Supreme Court works, because if they knew how it works, they wouldn't have been mad at the Roe v. Wade decision. They wouldn't be mad at the recent decision over the website developer creating a gay website. They wouldn't have been mad over that decision. They would have understood how our government works. If anybody needs a civics test, it's a damn Democrat.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
It's a damn Democrat. Hotep Dutch coming. He coming to Hotep Con. What up, Dutch? I can't wait to meet you, bro. We gonna kick it, man. It's gonna get lit. I'm gonna buy a half of that good stuff, and we gonna chill and kick it. So, listen. I agree. There should be a test, but we should test all. That's my stance. Let's continue.
I believe in changing the ideas of what political opponents look like, what they should look like, or political candidates. Are you willing to take a test with me quickly? Because I just have a couple of questions for you.
I will, absolutely. And the way this is opening up, I have a feeling I'm about to fail it, but that's good. Let's do it.
That's right, yeah. Just for clarity, I am an independent. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. Cool. I think that's important for the premise of the argument, because I know you did a lot of debating at Harvard. I also want to make it clear these are the same questions that I asked liberal Democrat Marianne Williamson. So I want to make sure that we put that out there as well, just to kind of set the foundation for the test.
I'm open to being humbled. Let's do this.
Okay, great. Let's go. So you mentioned, the pride of being an American and how important it is to have pride in this country. I'm also a veteran, by the way, for the United States Air Force. So when is it that you voted for the first time?
I voted in 2020.
Okay, so you're how old again?
I'm 37 years old.
So for how many years you sat around and did not get involved at all in any civic engagement? Is that my understanding?
A long time is the answer. And actually, that's what I wrote this book about. I'm not holding myself out as some sort of model. I'm actually offering myself as a self-reflection of my journey as a citizen to whom this country has given much, right? As an adult, when you have kids, it changes your perspectives. I'm very honest about that. Absolutely.
Okay, no problem. So let's go deeper into the self-reflection. So you've sat around and sir, I'm being as respectful as I possibly can. Please don't take anything
and you don't even have to be. And you don't even have to be. So take it off and let's go.
So you've been sitting around in the country that my ancestors built for about 20 years. Your parents came over as immigrants, brought you over. You made millions, according to your resume, off of this country, and you have absolutely not been involved in civics. One, not voting, and two, let me just ask, because I know you mentioned earlier you don't want to sit around at the debate and talk about accomplishments. Let's make the accomplishments pretty simple. In high school, were you ever a class president or take any leadership role? Because your opponent did, Chris Christie. He was the class president. So have you ever taken any leadership at all on anything? Or just
can I just correct a couple factual things that are kind of important? My parents didn't bring me over to the country. I was born in this country, and I'm proud of that.
No, I know you were born here in Ohio.
Yeah.
Ohio.
You mentioned my parents.
I'm saying your parents were immigrants. My apologies.
And that's all right. You said your parents brought you over to this country. I thought I would set that record straight.
I mean, they were immigrants, but let's not go down the water hole.
Oh, no, we're not going to water hole. I just want to correct a couple facts. And then the other thing is,
you were born here in Ohio.
I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's right.
Right. So you've been here your entire life. So the question is, did you take any leadership role in middle school, high school, class president?
I did.
I know you played tennis. What is it? Explain it.
So is this one of those situations where black women are aggressive? Of course it is. She's a feisty one. She's a feisty, spicy one.
Student council. But, I think that this is yes, I've held leadership roles over my life, but those don't qualify me to do what I'm doing now.
Yeah, it kind of does. Okay, it kind of does. Well, I'm giving the test. I'm the test administrator.
All right, there you go.
So, my only thing is, sometimes it's like when people go into discussions, and I've been guilty of this in the past, and I won't be going forward because I learned my lesson. But they come in with some sort of animosity to the person and preconceived notions, and it doesn't really lead to, like, for example, right? If you really want to pin somebody down, try to figure out how to not pin them down, how to give them, enough room to hang themselves. It's very much an art form. I did that with Just Pearly Things in my interview, where I wasn't trying to pin her down. She pinned herself down. But I went into it trying to make her look good. Instead, she made herself look bad. So, when she comes in with this sort of attitude, ready to attack Vivek, it doesn't lead to really nailing him like she wants to. So let's go back.
Oh, it kind of does, because when you go from saying I want to go to the highest office,
and I'll tell you, I've led companies as well. Is the other leader?
Right,
the main leadership role I've played is and I want to talk about one early part of your premise that I also want to say, to bring it to the country point. The other point, you use the word sitting around. I'm not somebody who's saying I want the next generation.
I like what she's alluding to, though. She's basically saying you've never participated in any civic engagement at all, and now all of a sudden you want to run for president. Now, what have I always said on this channel, people? What have I always said? The greatest grift on this planet is to run for president. It's the greatest grift. Because you get to use other people's money to increase your profile. And then after you lose the race, you can still sell books and do tours and speaking engagements because everybody knows your name. So I do believe that running for president is just a grift for Robert Ramaswamy. It's just a grift, and that's what she's trying to expose.
My kids' generation to have more civic duties when they graduate from high school and college than I did when I did. That being said, I wasn't sitting around. I've developed medicines, 5 of which are FDA-approved products today, one of which is a life-saving therapy in kids, 20 of whom die by the age of 3 if they're not treated, 70% of whom now live lives of a normal duration. Another one for prostate cancer. So I don't apologize for making contributions. But
so basically what he said was he's in bed with Big Pharma.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Let's continue.
I don't want you to filibuster that because
Just
that's not the
sitting-
question that I asked. And I don't consider as a veteran, I'm talking about service. I'm not talking about what you
Civic
did for
service,
profit. I'm not talking about what you paid people to do with your
so
company.
I've
I'm
not
not talking
served-
about
I've
that
not served the country
because that
in the way
means
you
nothing
have.
to me.
You do
what I'm
realize
talking,
she hasn't been able to ask a question. She's been trying to
Go
ask
for
a
it.
question,
Yeah.
and you've been talking over her.
I'm
and
all ears.
We gave you the platform to let you say.
I'm
what
all
you said.
defensive. I'm all ears. No, I was just correcting a couple
She hasn't had a chance
facts.
to
That's
ask a
all.
question yet. Every
Go
time
ahead,
she
Ted,
tries
ask
to
the
ask a
question.
question, you've been cutting her off. Good.
I'm all ears.
Right. So your question. So my question again is, you're trying to.
And that's another thing that shows me that Robert Ramaswamy here is a bit intimidated because he kept cutting her off. He did. He absolutely did keep cutting her off. And that's a sign of insecurity. You know, if he was cool, calm, and collected, he should have been able to just let her speak, let her finish, and then answer the question.
Your goal is to raise the standard, and you're saying you want people to believe in country, and you want people to have civic engagement. Yeah. And sir,
keep in mind, I'll be on Tim Pool soon debating, and I'll show you guys how to debate. So I'll be on there soon. I think that's the 28th.
I just find it very telling that you haven't had any civic engagement at all and haven't been at all. And when I say sit around, I don't mean you haven't done anything. I'm talking about in regards to service, because one thing about political office, the same way that you want to change how people look at politics and look at this country, I want to change how people look at politicians. And when I see that someone hasn't did anything at all to be of service to mankind, to take a leadership role. It's not good enough to just be on city student council. Were you a leader? All of that applies. Have you been able to get anybody in the room at any time, from a high school gymnasium to Ohio, Republican leadership there to now? Have you been able to get anybody in a room to believe in this vision? I don't agree with a lot of your vision statement, but I do know you've been going around having these discussions and getting everybody emotionally worked up to talk about vision and debate. But I want to get to the practical. You're trying to go from preschool to president of the United States. You're skipping over city council, county council, mayor, governor. You want to go straight to the top. So my question is this a PR? Is this for the PR, the percent?
That's a good point. That's a good point. He skipped over a lot of steps to go straight for president.
Perception of reality, or can you point to any leadership where you've been able to get people to believe in what you're talking about that they're not paid to do on any of these vision statements that you have? If not, then to me, it's a moot point, because you're holding a standard that you haven't met yourself.
And that's a good point too. I don't like the way she's going about this, but I think it could have been more tactful. But it is a publicity stunt. It is PR. You know, Vivek, he's grifting. It just is what it is.
So if you're only going to count government service, you're absolutely
No, not government
right.
service.
Okay.
Student council in the 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th. Were you a leader? Did you do anything to rally anybody? Did you fight for better lunch? I did in the 6th grade with Miss Harris.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about government. I can go all the way back from the 5th grade every year, sir, because people who are in service to this country, if you're going to go around saying you want people to believe in this country that I signed up to die for, then I want to make sure that you're holding that same standard. So not government, not political. Let's not get it confused. Yeah. I'm saying, have you did anything of service that we can point to say he is a good leader, like Chris? And I'm not even a fan of Chris Christie, but he was the student council president in high school. So have you done anything of service besides yourself that has not benefited yourself? It's just a simple question.
So the acts of service that I have performed are small, so small that I don't even want to talk about them to boast. But yes, have I volunteered for this country? Yes, I have. I've always been interested in healthcare.
It's okay to talk about the small things.
I mean, these are small things, right? But thank you.
No, let's just mention
Bethesda North Hospital.
So it's really a no?
No, it's not a no. It's just something I don't like boasting about. I volunteered.
We're not boasting. It's an interview. You're boasting on your vision and everything else.
I think
you boasted on the millions of dollars that you made. So let's just throw it out. So in 6th grade, I'll give you an example. I'll help you out. In 6th grade, Miss Harris was slapped. Let me give you an example, because maybe you're confused. In the 6th grade, Miss Harris was snatching papers from everybody in the classroom. So me as a 10-year-old, I went to the principal and said, I'm tired of Miss Harris snatching papers, and I'll organize the students around getting Miss Harris to stop snatching papers. Now, there was a consequence for that. I got suspended for 5 days for talking back, and I got in trouble. I got a spanking, and I was on punishment for months and months. But that is a simple way of organizing people. So I want you to kind of boast about it the way you did the millions of dollars and said what you did with the pharmaceutical companies. What leadership can you point to that you've been able to rally anybody around anything that is of service that you did not pay anybody to do? I think that's important for the next president of the United States.
Sure. So I've always been drawn to healthcare. That's why I ended up founding companies in that space. When I was in high school, part of what drew me into it was that I was a volunteer at a local hospital. I actually became the leader of that group of volunteers that actually discharged women who had recently given birth. That was it. Nothing big to it.
Did you do anything we can point to stand out?
But I want to say something about that, because I say that in the book. If I'm being really honest, why did I do that in high school? A part of the motivation, I'll be just brutally honest with you, was part of the motivation was that's actually what allows you to get into a good college when you graduate. Is you want to check the box of community service.
So it was about you.
So there was
about self.
So there's and I'm admitting that in a way that very few other people do. But I got to be honest about it. That was a big part of why I did it.
Yeah, it was about self, and I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to give it back to the guys. I'm going to be honest about it with you.
Yep.
Leadership is not about self.
I agree with you on that.
What I just heard is that everything is about you, and to be honest with you, this is just a PR campaign, sir, to be honest with you. And I think you're trying to go further to the right because you want the Republicans to accept you as a man of color. And I think the only way you think you can do that is to be so extreme.
I appreciate your opinion.
With your positions, and I think you need to do a little bit more work in service. I'll give it back to the guys.
Now, I wish he would have opened with that statement. I'm gonna replay it real fast. I wish he would have opened with that statement, because that was really her motive. Somebody said Hotep should love this dude. He proves if you have a good idea, you can get investment behind it and change the world. Why would I love him for that? I have a million examples as to I could look to for that. Why would I care about his investings? I got investors in my life. Why would I need to look at him as an example? What?
It was about self.
So there's that, and I'm admitting that in a way that very few other people do. But I got to be honest.
And you said I should like this guy based upon the fact that he can put a corporation together and get investing, right? That's why I should like somebody. I mean, I can respect his business acumen. That doesn't mean I have to like him. I like honest people. I like real people. I like people that come out and say what the fuck it is. I like people. That's why I got this Trump hat on, because he's the only motherfucker that gets up there and tells you exactly what's on his mind. Let's be honest. Robert Ramaswamy is running as a grift.
Honest about it. That was a big part of why I did it.
Yeah, it was about self, and I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to give it back to the guys. I'm going to be honest.
Right here. This is what I want. This is what I want y'all to listen to what she says, and she's right here.
Honest about it with you.
Yep.
Leadership is not about self.
I agree with you on that.
What I just heard is that everything is about you, and to be honest with you, this is just a PR campaign, sir, to be honest with you. And I think you're trying to go further to the right because you want the Republicans to accept you as a
Nailed it. Nailed it. Nailed it. He saw he could get more stain, more movement by pushing right-wing talking points. This guy is not a conservative. Let's be honest, he's not a conservative. I just showed you the tweet before. He was disparaging conservatives in the past. He's pushing the vaccines, pushing masks. He's not one of us. He's not one of us. He's not Hotep. He's a grifter. But he saw how easy it was to grift off of conservative politics and went for it. It was easy. Stick to the talking points, talk about gender and all these little stuff. And everybody will come running. Everybody will come support you.
As a man of color. And I think the only way you think you can do that is
and that's his other thing, you know, because he's a person of color. He's going to use that to his advantage too.
so extreme.
I appreciate your opinion.
With your positions, and I think you need to do a little bit more work in service. I'll give it back to you guys. You failed the test, by the way.
Because she did ask me a question, and then you guys said you wanted to hear a response, but I think I heard an expression of opinion. So just I want to make sure you're all done before I respond to it.
No, just wanted to say that even then, I would still want you to point out, even at the hospital, something that you did that made you stand out on when actually taking a leadership role. But you already answered it. You said you did it because it was a motivation to get in college.
Exactly.
Which means it was
I'm
about
being very
you.
honest about that. But
everything has been about you. So as a veteran,
let me tell you something. I appreciate
it's very hard for me to follow leaders that make everything about them. So you might want to work on that because it's a lot of veterans and Republicans. So you might want to work on that talking point and maybe do some volunteering while you're on the campaign trail. I'm going to give it back to Charlamagne and Envy.
Yeah. I want to be respectful. Want to make sure you got everything you wanted to on the table before I respond to that.
If this was just us, it would be a lot more.
You guys tell me. I'm the guest on your show. You tell me when I'm good to speak.
Go ahead.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
You sure about that? If we're good.
Yeah, we're sure.
So I think there's a different worldview that we have. And I think the worldview is how one actually makes contributions in a country. I do not believe that there's a separate category of just if you're serving the country and then if you're acting in self-interest, that's somehow sinful or wrong. I reject that vision. To the contrary, I think capitalism is the best system known to man to lift people up from poverty. I deeply respect and I thank you for your service to this country. I'm grateful for it. I haven't served.
That's true. That's true. Of all the systems we know, capitalism is the best. Continue.
The country in the way that you have. But I think that the way
although that's a talking point.
You get ahead in capitalism. How did I develop a multi-billion-dollar biotech company? It was by developing medicines that save people's lives.
A lot of people say capitalism causes poverty.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Okay.
I disagree with that. I think that capitalism demands that.
Does capitalism cause poverty? Very interesting subject to talk about. I took a class with Shaka Akmos on the origins of capitalism, dating back to ancient Kemet. And Shaka purports that from the time you create money, you create wealth, and therefore create its opposite, which is poverty, because poverty is lack of money. So if you create money, there's people who have money and people who don't. So yes, by creating money, you do create an upper and lower class based upon measuring things in dollars, cents, or whatever currency you're using, which is why I think it's horrendous for people to say that the way of life in the Western world today, because of technology, is some sort of advancement of humanity, is some sort of show of civility. When we've shown that, and even, Ted Kaczynski writes about this, we've shown that industrialization has done nothing but make life worse for people, make people even more unhappy. Meanwhile, you go to these tribes in the Amazon and everybody got a smile on their face until Westerners show up and start tearing down the forest and, where they're living, et cetera, et cetera. Many of these tribes got smiles on their faces to see somebody show up. So the idea that technology is some sort of, first of all, I don't believe technology is human advancement. That's something I don't believe. Do I think that technology can show some level of advancement in a particular area? Yes. But if your idea of civility and human act and human advancement is based upon technology alone, then you're forgetting what it is to be human. See, human civility is to be able to get along with others. It's empathy, it's sympathy, it's giving, it's sharing, it's loving. If your civilization cannot master that, you could go to fucking Pluto with the greatest space station ever and build all types of technology and chips that you put in your brain and cars that run on electricity and all this stuff. But if you can't love your mom, if you can't love your son, if you can't love your family, what's it for? What's it for? Is that really human advancement? I mean, you take civilization and you say these people are living amongst themselves and they're happy, but they don't have much technology. And you got another one who has all the technology and they're committing suicide and they're unaliving themselves and they're changing their genders. Something went wrong here. Something went wrong here. When you got people running around trying to change their genders. You don't go to a third world country and see people trying to change their genders. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Somebody's unhappy somewhere, somehow. So I don't follow that idea that technology is, shows some sort of level of human advancement. In fact, I think it takes us back further.
That you provide something to someone that helps them more.
Especially when the technology is at the expense of somebody else's life. For example, people talk about the lithium that goes into these batteries and for electric cars, and how hard it is to discard these things because they're gonna, ruin the earth and pollute the earth. And then you look at where these things are coming from. They're coming from, child slave labor in Africa. So if your technology is at the expense of someone's squalor, at the expense of somebody's life and happiness, was the technology worth it? I don't think so. I don't think so. Not when kids got to die over this shit.
Or then you're actually charging them for it. That's the only way.
That's
the
a
tried
business
and true
model,
way
sir. That's not
It is a business
service.
model. It's not. I'm not saying
that's not
it's
service.
I'm saying it's
But
having an impact on a society.
An elected official is service. That's the disconnect.
That's right. So
that you're
now
missing.
She gotta, and that's another thing. She gotta let him talk. She gotta let him talk, and that's my thing. Like, when you're too aggressive in these conversations, you don't give people enough rope to hang themselves. Like when I go into a debate, I'll give y'all my secret to debate. My secret to debate is to fully and completely want to understand the other side's point of view. And once I have that, I can destroy him. People don't listen in interviews. They listen to respond. People don't listen in debates. They listen to respond like, oh, I'm going to get him here. I'm going to get him here. No, when I listen in a debate, I'm listening, trying to be in your shoes. That's my secret to debate.
So now I'm moving on to now.
And then she like just let him talk. Just let these politicians just let him talk, and then crush him at the end. He's gonna open himself up. Sometimes in a fight, you gotta let your opponent punch themselves out and run out of breath. Then they're gonna drop their hands, and then you knock them out. But when you're so aggressive, you cut him off. It's like, first of all, you didn't give yourself time to assess the shit that he's saying, so you can come back with a good, powerful attack.
I'm moving on to there are phases of our lives where we do different things.
Well, you're moving straight all the way up to President of the United States.
I don't view it as a hierarchy. I don't view it as a hierarchy. I don't believe in hierarchies. The hierarchy is the way the bureaucracy works. I don't.
See now he bullshitting. See now he's bullshitting because it's a hierarchy. That's what it is, and people like to run from this stuff and act like these hierarchies don't exist or should not exist. Hierarchies have a purpose, they serve a purpose, and they should exist. There needs to be a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy in your household. There's a hierarchy in your community. We need hierarchy. That's how you create order. This is just natural. Otherwise, you'd have chaos. So him running from the hierarchy is just like he's trying to pay lip service to some community. And it's probably still the leftism left in him, that democratism that's still left in him from being a leftist and not being a true conservative. Because he should have, as a conservative, you should have no problem with hierarchy and order.
I don't believe in so we have a difference in opinion.
You also don't believe in service, and that's where we're having a disconnect.
Well, I disagree with you on that. I just disagree with you on that.
I think it's whack that you're proposing to revoke voting rights for 18 to 24-year-olds unless they meet certain qualifications, but you never exercised your rights.
Well,
so long.
So most young people don't. Is the whole.
And I don't like that. I don't like that rebuttal from Charlemagne. Right? Just because I propose a policy. For example, okay, so he says here, anybody above, past the age of 18 to 25 got to take this test. And Charlemagne says, I don't think that's a good idea, and it's not a good idea because you didn't exercise your right to vote. See, exercising the right to vote is exercising the right to not vote too. If I look at an election and everybody's bullshit on the card, why should I participate? That doesn't mean I can't have an opinion on how the system functions and works. Maybe, just maybe, if we installed this test and everybody had to pass a civic test, then we'd get a different set of politicians to choose based upon because everybody's more educated on the process and how the government works. And now I'm more likely to vote because I feel safe now. Okay, now I'm not voting alongside of a bunch of dumbasses that don't know how a system works. So I didn't really appreciate that. But again, Charlemagne, he's in more the entertainment industry. He's not into politics and economics, so I wouldn't expect him to understand this stuff.
Whole point. So, Charlamagne, let me ask you a question. Do you think the
largest voter turnouts have been over the last couple of elections, few elections?
They still voted at a very low rate, but let me ask you.
You know, and this whole larger voter turnout, I mean, let's be honest. Voter turnout was because politics became pop culture. Right around Trump, politics became pop culture. Now everybody wants to talk about politics. Everybody's an expert on politics. So that really doesn't mean, that's a moot point right there.
Good question. What do you think about high school students being required to pass the civics test? What's your perspective on that?
The one that you proposed?
The one that every immigrant has to pass in order to enter the country. If every high school student has to pass that before they graduate, what's your take on that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Okay, good. Now let me tell you something about the law as it exists today. Men in this country, not women, but men are required by law to register with the Selective Service, age 18 to 25. That's the draft. We don't have a draft, but men have to register. If you don't, they put you in prison. At least they can. It's a criminal offense if you don't. My view is I would decriminalize that. I don't like the government telling you what you can and cannot do. That's not the American way. But if you want to enjoy the civic privilege of voting, then I think it is perfectly legitimate to say you have to at least know something about the country.
Now, here's where I'm going to go a little awry. Not for America, but I do believe that young men should serve in the military. I believe all young men should serve in the military at some point. But that goes back to my thinking of how a nation should be ran. And there's a lot of other factors that are going to have to come into play to make that system make sense, like culture, nationalism, tribalism. Yeah, there's a lot that's going to have to go into that for that to make sense. But if you live in a nation and you're a man and we need to call to arms, yeah, we got to get the young bucks out here and they got to start fighting. Do I believe that for America? America be fighting some bullshit ass wars. So it's like, not for America. I ain't giving up my son for America.
Or have served that country, one or the other. Absolutely. Now, I think that what do we actually care about, right? What do we? I mean, we can do the personal attack thing. We care about the country. We care about the country.
The cornerstone of democracy, though.
Voting is the cornerstone of democracy. I have not.
Sir,
yeah, that's right. And you know, here's the thing. Here's the thing that's different.
Sir, excuse me, because this is important. We have to pause it. This is not a personal attack.
That's okay.
This is you, and I know that as a Republican, you are certainly not soft. So this is not a personal attack.
Yeah,
this
I'm
is
okay with
asking
attacks
about.
too.
This is about asking about your background and how it correlates, how it's relevant to saying you're going to serve this country because. President is actually.
So I have been an open book in the last 3 years.
Yeah, I know,
Absolutely.
and I'm going page by page.
And I'm saying that I have not.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Yep.
But I want to be clear: it's not an attack.
Okay.
Because you've been an open book, but that doesn't mean I have to like what's on the page.
That's fair
But
enough.
it's not an attack. I'm just reading the book.
Yep.
And so when I hear somebody say you need to get to either pass this test or do some type of service to the country, and I spend hours looking. You were in the Phi Beta Kappa. Did you have a leadership role in college, the honor roll? When somebody sets service as the standard and they've done no service except to themselves, that's a fair question. It's a question.
That's
and you just
so I've been on the, I mean, look, I was on I was on high school student council. Yes, absolutely.
Were you a lead? Were you a leader?
I was a vice president of my high school student council. Absolutely. I was the president of the National Honor Society. I can go down the list. It's just that
that's what I was asking you to do.
Absolutely.
Go down the list. But
so I was a president of the National Honor Society. I was the vice president of my student council. I was a lead amongst the volunteers at the hospital where I served growing up. I was actually a leader in volunteer research over the summers. From my senior year,
all of that, but you already admitted all of that was to get into college.
Not all of it, but I am admitting it. I think that
I know that's self-service, though. I just do you understand the difference between self-service and service?
I think the reality is, and I think we just all have to be more honest. When many high school students are serving today, not all of them.
There is a certain point to that. I remember I was in Africa, and they had these white girls that came down from Europe to serve at this, very poor school. Crazy conditions I saw with my own two eyes. But, these white girls come down, and it's basically just a thing to put on their CV. And you can tell the difference between the people who serve because they care or the people who serve, just to do something for their resume. And there is a difference. There is a difference between service on a resume and service because you actually care. So there is something there with what she's saying.
But I think let's smoke it out. I don't like that structure where we actually mix
and I don't like the
service with
structure,
self-interest.
And I don't like the structure of somebody saying somebody need to give service as a veteran. I don't like the structure of somebody
That's
going
fair.
to the
We can
highest
disagree.
office of the land and have not served anybody at any time unless it was self-serving. So this is where we just have two different ideologies. And I know your goal is to come here and get into.
Here's my
I know.
perspective.
That's why we got different perspectives.
Remember, two guys, he got to leave in 5 minutes. I know.
I'll let them wrap up.
Let me just say one thing is here's my vision of the run for presidency. And this is why I say I'm an open book is my job is to make sure people in this country know who I am and what I stand for. And I think that very few politicians on either party actually get that job done. So what I say is I'm an open book about who I am and what I stand for. Whether the people of this country want to vote for me, that's their question, not mine. That's their job to determine, not mine. And you're free not to vote for me. I expect you won't, and that's okay. But I'm doing my job in the 3 books I've written over the last year, in the conversation I'm having with you guys, being far more honest than any politician that I know in the last 10 years in this country. And I think when I say we want to fix corruption, you don't know what the first step is. The first step is actually people being honest. So you guys know me. You know what I stand for. I haven't hit back on that. Whether the people in this country want to vote for it, that's their choice.
Do you want to unite the country?
I do want to unite the country.
So why is like one of your marquee campaign proposals making sure black people can no longer benefit from affirmative action?
See, here's the thing. It's actually been a disastrous experiment over the last 60 years. I've seen the impact that it's had. Unlike a lot of other executives, I've had senior executives in my company who happen to be black, senior executives in my campaign who happen to be black. I actually went to a majority or close to majority black school 1st through 8th grade. There isn't a single one of those black kids or black colleagues that could not have achieved everything I have in my life. I firmly believe that to be true. And I have seen the unfair discrimination behind closed doors, the things that people will say behind closed doors, about somebody who would have had that position anyway, but was unfairly tarred with the taint of saying they got it because of a race-based quota system. I think that's unjust to everyone across the board. And I think that the right way to do this is actually ensure equality of opportunity, educational access at an early age, which, by the way, we don't have in this country, starting at an actual young age. How about doing that in a way that's agnostic to race? That way we prevent seeing one another on the basis of a color of our skin, but we actually solve the real inequalities that we have when it starts with inequality of opportunity, starting with education. So my view is, I think my approach is actually going to be more successful in lifting up more black Americans than have been the Lyndon Johnson approach of actually using race-based quota systems.
So if the Supreme Court does rule on affirmative action, and
that's an easy argument. You know, Robert Shlami's on point right here. Affirmative action has been an absolute complete disaster, especially for black people. However, what's his solution?
They do ban it. Who do you feel it benefits versus who it hurts?
I think that it helps everyone if they end race-based affirmative action in college admissions. I think it will literally help everyone in different ways because it restores merit in the United States.
Yeah.
Are we perfect in ensuring equality of opportunity? No, we're not. The fact that kids are trapped by the zip code in which they're born, determining where they go to school, is a problem, which is why I favor universal school choice in this country, which has actually done more to help black Americans than has any affirmative action program.
What's your thoughts on people saying that you got Don Lemon fired?
I think that the New York Times reported that. I had an open debate with Don Lemon. What CNN wanted to do with that is their choice. My view is, though, we need to start saying in public the things that people are otherwise saying in private. There's a gap right now in the country. Let's admit it. Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter.
Be careful with that because a lot of people in your party are going to start saying nigga out loud.
I don't think so, actually. And I would certainly hope not. I would condemn it if they do. I would condemn it if anybody does. All right. But what I think is we need to close the gap between what people say in private and what they say in public. That allows us to air our differences, and then we actually find unity that way. That's actually what I think unites the country, not creating this culture of hush-hush, right? Say one thing in public and a different thing in private. And I do reject Don Lemon's premise. What did he tell me on set? He said, you can disagree with me when you have black skin and you've lived in this country whatever ethnicity you are. Explain it to me. I just reject that. I think we should.
Sir, let's just use a real example of just what everybody said. You said, people can have difference of opinion. They can have, you want to unite people. I gave you a difference of opinion as a veteran, and you came back and said that I was personally attacking you, and that is a way of gaslighting and basically, trying to set the idea that I was against you when I just had. That's the statement you made, and what I'm saying is, instead of us just having the debate, because see, I didn't talk about colors, which you probably expected when you came in here.
I did not.
Well, that's fine. I didn't talk about color. I didn't get all emotional about your vision, because I really wanted to just talk about what you've done in service, because you yourself has raised service as the number one thing that what people need to do in order to participate in the country that my ancestors built. And you said that I personally attacked you. So just to give you some advice, if you're going to say, hey, let's have difference of opinion, let's be able.
I have a little problem with this. This is the second time she said that. This country that my ancestors built. I have a problem with that statement. Can't quite pinpoint what it is. I think my problem with it is how ubiquitous it is from black voices. And that's usually when black people repeat something over and over again. That's when I usually go, wait, stop. This probably isn't the right thing to say. Now, is that saying that black people didn't participate in the building of the country? Of course they did. A lot of people did. But to say that black people built this country as if other people didn't, as if Jewish people didn't help build this country, as if Italian people, Irish people, African people. I mean, if you just look at the cultural influence in Black America from the Caribbean, I can write a wonderful 300-page document on the contributions to Black American culture from the Caribbean alone. So, who built the Black American? Does the Black American know they from Africa and the Caribbean? Because it seems like they always want to separate themselves, and then it's just like, then they say things like, my ancestors built this country. And it's just like, nah. You know what the problem is? I think the problem is I know who built this country. That's my problem. And I wrote a book about it. Do I have a copy here on my desk? I might have gave it to somebody. Damn it, hold on. Let me pull this up on the screen. Let's go back. Right here. Let's put this on your screen. Everything you need to know about United States history that your high school teacher never told you because Marxism equals censorship. Unearth the exact congressional records that reveal the underbelly of Washington, D.C. All facts, no fluff. This is a fact. It's just facts on tops of facts on tops of facts on tops of facts in this book that I wrote. You can go get a copy of that at HotepJesus.com.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
But this was my research paper. And I know who built this country. Let's see. Who does it start with? Robert Morris, for one. Robert Morris definitely had a huge, matter of fact, let's go ahead and pull that up. Let's go to our Google overlords. Let's type in Robert Morris, George Washington. Here he is right here, former United States Senator. And it says right here, Robert Morris was a financier of the American Revolution. Without his money, there wouldn't be no United States. You see it right here. Morris was born in Liverpool, England. All these people are from England. These is Europeans. So America was built by Europeans. First and foremost, America was built by European money masters. Even Wikipedia puts financier next to his name. Now let me see if I can find the quote. And the other thing is the institution of slavery. Let's read this passage. I'm not sure what this says, but let's read it because I think it's going to lend credence to what I want to say. Morris's partnership with Willing was forged just after the beginning of the 7 Years' War, which hindered attracting the usual supply of new indentured servants to the colony. Potential immigrants were conscripted in England to fight in Europe, and the contracts for those already in the colonies in America were expiring. At the same time, the British Crown wanted to encourage the slave trade, which was profitable to the king's political allies in the African Company of Merchants. While Morris was a junior partner and Willing was pursuing a political career, the company Willing, Morris and co-signed a petition calling for the repeal of Pennsylvania's tariff on imported slaves. So this was a big, like taxes and tariffs were a big deal back in the day. Nobody wanted taxes, nobody wanted tariffs, and it was hurting all types of economies when they installed these things, when they implemented these things like tariffs or whatever. So really the point what I wanted to say is many of these companies built America. And investments built America. Now, what people will argue and say, well, somebody had to do the labor. And that labor was black people. And I can't really argue that. But somebody had a plan. The other thing I'll say is this country was built by Freemasons. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows. Let me see if I can find this quote. No, I want the one. Anyway, I'll tell you what it says. You guys can do your research. But basically what happened was George Washington had his campaign, the Revolutionary War, and he needed money to support the war. And he said, send for Robert Morris. That's what he said. Send for Robert Morris. And Robert Morris put the money up to make America a free colony. So who built America? Robert Morris helped build America. Judah P. Benjamin helped build America. The Freemasons mainly built America. This is a Freemason project. America was a Freemason project. If you're even remotely red-pilled, you know this. How many steps there are walking up to the monuments and the pillars and all the different Freemason shit and symbols and signs in the country and the money. And I'm sure all of you know all this stuff. So Freemasons built this country. So whether it was black people, brown people, yellow people, whatever people, somebody was going to be the slave class. There is going to be some labor involved to do that. It just so happened that those people happen to be black. So when we say it's just to me, it's just weird when we say, yo, we built America. Because if you say you built America, then you're basically saying you built this bullshit that this country has become. And I don't want responsibility for the bullshit that this country has become. No, Freemasons built this bullshit of a country that we've become. Freemasonry did that. Black people didn't do that. We didn't build this country. Freemasons built this country. We were participants, unwilling participants of this bullshit ass country that this place has become. So I don't want credit for building this country, because this country has very little to be proud of besides the wonderful people here. And then if you look, what has it done for black people? And if you look, who are black people supporting? The same fucking party of fucking slavery? You say we built this country and y'all helped build the goddamn Democratic Party. You guys are the fucking backbone of the Democratic Party. You and racist whites and black people are the backbone, and black voters are the backbone of the Democratic Party. These voices. No, black people didn't build America. We didn't build this shit. We were unwilling participants of a Freemason project. That's factually true. We were unwilling participants. Matter of fact, let's pull this up. Let's pull this up. Who is this nigga? Who is this nigga? Can y'all see this? Hold on, let me put this on your screen. Who's this? Who's this black man with George Washington? Who's this black man with George Washington? Some people say it's some Moor. Some people say it's something else. He ain't no slave. Is he an American? What's this say? So it says here, William Lee was an American slave. Okay, so it says he was a slave and personal assistant of George Washington. He was the only one of Washington's slaves who was freed immediately by Washington's will. So I stand corrected. So the wiki is saying this was his valet. So what do we have here? They said it was a Moor, right? No, looks like it's not. Looks like it's another unwilling participant of a Freemason project. Going back to my previous point. Unwilling participant of a Freemason project. America was a Freemason project. And how do I know this? Well, let's go here. Remember the Anti-Mason Party? Does anybody remember that? In America, at one point, you had to have the Anti-Masonic Party. Anti-Masonic Party was the earliest third party. So the first third party in America, before you get a libertarian, before you get an anarchist, before all these third parties, the first third party in America was a single issue party that strongly opposed Freemasonry in the United States because these people understood that both parties were controlled by Masons. Fact. 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 That's why you gotta do your history. So it's just triggering for me. Like, I know black people like to run around and say, yo, we built this country. I don't know, like, you know, they're trying to prove their contributions to this country or some shit. I don't know what the point of repeating that talking point is. It's just, we built this country. Nah, you were unwilling participants of a Freemason project. And on the other side is white people talking about, oh, the founding fathers and America was meant for the free. No, it was meant for the Freemason, you dumbass. And still is. And still is. This is shit I can't say on Fox, by the way. And still is. This is Freemasonry. This was Freemasons coming out of the occult parties of Europe, etc., etc. Blah, 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 blah. But I don't know why we always say, oh, the founding fathers. The founding fathers didn't give two fucks about you. The founding fathers of the United States of America didn't give two fucks about you. They didn't give two fucks about freedom. The only thing they cared about was them goddamn selves and ingratiating themselves with the king and the queen. They loved England. Don't make them think like, oh, the only reason why them motherfuckers started changing up is because, and this is in my book, what should I Google? Actually, I'm not even gonna waste the time to remember what to Google. But all you gotta do is look at damn, now here I go trying to Google the shit. Let's go to Pennsylvania. I can't spell. Pennsylvania first currency. Boom. So you see here, Pennsylvania's first currency. You get their first currency, first early American currency, da 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 da. And then England opposed. I could just pull my book open and read it. There's I've done what's the name on this? Presentations on this. Go to the Patriot Report. There's a whole entire playlist on here on YouTube. I probably should republish it on Rumble. But basically what happened was England said cut it out. Right? So Pennsylvania was doing currency right. Massachusetts, they were practicing fractional reserve currency. Shit kind of got out of whack in Massachusetts. Pennsylvania did it right. They had a 1-to-1 ratio reserve currency to what they were actually. I think it was backed by land or something like that. Their currency, Pennsylvania was. And then England said, nah, y'all not about to print their own currency. And once England said you're not about to print your own currency, well, That's when they said, oh, hell no, now you fucking with my money. And that's why they fought the Revolutionary War. That's why. So let's be clear. Founding Fathers didn't give a fuck about you. Thomas Jefferson barely gave a fuck about you. Andrew Jackson was probably the best president ever. Who else? Alexander Hamilton was a dickhead. He was trash. Probably the worst president ever, at least during that time. Was he even a president? I can't remember. But Alexander Hamilton was fucking terrible. Hold on, let me see. Just so I never say that stupid shit again. United States Secretary. Okay, no, he never served as president. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God he was never president. Yeah, I didn't think he was president. Anyway, Alexander Hamilton, this motherfucker was the worst motherfucker to ever live. Secretary of Treasury. He the one that fucking got us in all this central banking shit in the first damn place. I done did presentations on that already. So let's just be clear. I'm hurting everybody's feelings. Black people, you didn't build this country. White people, you didn't build this country either. Okay, this country was a Freemason project, and we're all unwilling participants.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
And with that being said, let's go to the phone lines. 202-596-5631. 202-596-5631. You don't get the raw and uncut truth over here at the Grift Report, baby. I'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How I'm supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock? I have no clue. Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already? He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick? They think they're gonna be able to budget that? It's money. That's money right there, you understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early? He's not tapped in.
Goldstein on the check-in. Goldstein, what up, man? What you think about today's stream, bro?
Man, where do I start? Where do I start? It's a live ass stream as usual. Get that out of the way first.
You said what?
It's a live stream. It's great. It's good to hear. You know what I mean? You had a lot going on today. That's why I'm like, man, well, where do I start with this?
Big facts.
Let me start slow. Let me start here. It was never Baphomet. Like you said, Baphomet was mocking them fools.
Right.
It's always been Moloch, though.
Yes.
It's always been him.
Yes.
Yes. So let's get that straight. Moloch, that's the nigga you got to worry about. Baphomet is just is a cartoon character, basically.
Right.
Yeah. Secondly, the dude that had black women all in his mouth. Talking about black women this, black women that. You had black women in your mouth, but it sounded more like you wanted black niggas there. Let's get that straight.
It sounded like that he wanted what?
He wanted some niggas up in his mouth. That's what it sounded. He sounded like a girl, right?
Yeah, he did.
You know, they call them in Spanish, they call them hotos. He sounded like a motherfucking hoto.
Why you sound so low? Your volume low. You want me on speakerphone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, take yourself off speakerphone.
How's it about now?
I think that might be better. Keep talking. Go ahead.
So then...
There we go.
Now you got the government and everybody talking about, oh, government, please help me out. And then when they get mad when they do help your ass out, because it's either they did something you didn't want them to, or they didn't do something at all. And if that's the case, then maybe you should stop asking the goddamn government for help. Help your goddamn self.
Facts only.
Because these motherfuckers, they're grifters at the end of the day, which rounds me out to talking about what I had going on in that video, as well as Vivek Ramaswamy, because it's one and the same.
Yep.
Fact of the matter is, all these motherfuckers ain't working for you. They're not working for you. And the best thing people could do is understand that quick, fast, and in a hurry, because Trump, I think he's probably the most dangerous of the grifters, while a lot of motherfuckers don't quite want to vibe with that. I get that, because, you know, you're all cultists at the end of the day. But he didn't say nothing different than Robert Salami there. He didn't do nothing different than Robert Salami did, other than the fact that he did it better. So he was easier. He wasn't as easy to sniff out. That's the only difference. Yeah, he ran for his goddamn self. He didn't run for us. I said in that video, name one thing that he did of substance, and I'm still hard pressed to get anyone to answer that, because if you want to talk about the economy, he made money. He made people money. Well, to me, that just sounds like he was getting people nice and fat so they stay quiet.
Who, Trump?
In hindsight. Yeah.
Okay.
In hindsight. Because here you got this fool rocking with this Ukraine shit. He been rocking with the vaccine shit. He kept Fauci in office. He did a lot of shit that under normal circumstances, had he had a different name, he would have been called a rhino. You know why? You know why? Because he is a goddamn rhino. That motherfucker was a Republican all the way up until, or a Democrat all the way up until he decided to run for office.
Yeah, and he saw the grift.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's why he sounds like a rhino, because he's a goddamn rhino.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's a Democrat either. I think he's one of these self-serving, experiment-running Freemasons that you like to talk about right there. I do think that. I think he's in league with that. Whatever experiment they got going on now, because the experiment back in the 1700s was to build this shit. The experiment now, it shifted a bit, but it's all the same players. Vivek, he one of them. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers who are running against Trump in the primary, they're not running for president. They're running for cabinet positions. That's all. But
True.
They can't come out and say, well,
you can't come out and say that. Yeah, you can't say, "Hey, I'm really running for a cabinet position." You know, no, they have to say that they're running for president and then fall back on the cabinet position.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's too much money in politics for motherfuckers to have me sitting here believing, oh yeah, all these fools think they got a shot at president. No, ain't nobody, because most of these motherfuckers who are funding these campaigns are businessmen at the end of the day, and they like to back sure things.
Yes.
They like to back for sure things. They don't throw millions of dollars away on a gamble, especially when the polling numbers say that they are clear-cut losers. They don't do that. What they do, though, is they'll put money behind a motherfucker who they know has a clear-cut shot at a cabinet position. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Trump come out and endorse Vivek? I mean, he didn't
he basically said he would like to have him as a VP. Him, or I forget who the other one was. Yes, somewhat. That's kind of endorsing. Yeah.
Wasn't it Tim Scott, the other one?
Okay. Yes, I think it was. Yes, it was Tim Scott. That's correct. That's who the other one was. Yep. Yep.
Now, am I tripping, or didn't him, Vivek, recently, and Tim Scott just to modify their positions in such a way as to sound like rhinos their goddamn selves?
Yeah.
Where's Trump's? Where's him taking his endorsement back? As adamant as he is against motherfucking the establishment, the swamp, and all the other motherfucking catchphrases that he likes to throw out there to gain people's attention so he can gain people's votes, where's he at? It just seems to me like the people he endorsed, going back to his presidency, the people that he employed or kept employed, They all seem to be a part of the same group. The only thing that sets him apart was the fact that he said, I'm not a part of this group. But nigga, I can't tell.
So
you can tell a tree by its fruits.
So the way me and my homie put it is, he's like the annoying little brother. Like, you know, where it's like, okay, y'all won't let me play ball? All right, I'll fuck this shit up for all y'all because I got the power to, right? So he's at the table, but he's at a different table. He's in the room, but he's at a different table. Trump's not in the club. He just has enough money and influence to play the game with the club. But he ain't in the club, and he knows the rules to the game, so he never really does anything that's gonna shake, you know, the Freemason table too heavy. You know what I'm saying? Here's my thing. I'm a single issue non-voter.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Okay. I'm a single issue non-voter. I've only gotten up off my ass to vote once. And that was for Barack Obama. I was a young kid, and I wanted to see the first black president ever. And I was in an interview once, and they asked me, why do you feel like you want to vote for Barack Obama? I said, because he's black. Knowing I sounded completely ignorant, but that was just the truth of the matter at that time. Anyway, I'm a single issue non-voter. And it's basically, I want to know what's in it for me. If my bank account's going to go up because Trump's president, then I need Trump to be president, and that's why I'm rocking this 4-7 on my hat. I'm going to fuck what else he do. He could fucking send bombs to Ukraine, and I don't give a fuck. I already know what Trump can control and what he cannot control. Trump can't do nothing about Ukraine. Trump, matter of fact, you know what's crazy? I got a crazy one for you, yo. You ready?
Yeah.
I believe Trump is going to be the president that installs the CBDC.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
He's going to be the one that sells it to us.
For sure.
But I also know that no matter who's in there, they're going to have to follow suit, and they're going to have to help put the CBDC in. Like I said, the money powers run the show. And at a certain point, you are powerless. You can't cut the head off the Hydra beast because the Hydra beast got too many heads.
Right. And I believe this to be the case. My issue is when you bill yourself as the dude who's going to cut the head off the Hydra beast. That makes me think you're one of the fucking heads.
That's true.
Because you know that, I know that, most normal motherfucking thinking motherfuckers know that. It's a system. But when you bill yourself as the ultimate system slayer, now
it's
I
just
think
political talk.
You went on the level.
Well, it's just political talk too.
It's political talk, but if you go in there and you're inept, that's clear cut. You can see that. If you go in there and you help further shit, now I got a question. Now I got a question. And some of the shit you did, some of the shit Trump did, some of the shit that Vivek is on now, some of the shit that DeSantis is talking about he's finna be on when he get there, if he get there, all of them. That's why I say vote for Uncle Hotep. Because no matter who the fuck ends up in that White House, we lose. But again, I feel like Trump is the most dangerous because A, he's the most influential. B, he is almost cult status.
Oh,
and
this a real Hotep brother.
That historically speaking ain't good. Historically speaking, we've seen this model before, and it never spawned anything good. I do want to close on that broad, though. On the broad.
Who's that?
The Breakfast Club broad.
Okay.
This is where I'm going to afford Vivek some grace, or anybody who follows this same pattern. You don't have to have done a thing to espouse that thing.
Right.
Period.
Right. Right.
For all we know, the only reason you served your country as a veteran is because you needed that GI Bill. Which is very self-serving, because I know that's why a lot of people during peacetime get into the military. It wasn't like you was kicking the doors down because we was in funk. And I'm fairly certain you'd have stayed far away from that recruitment office had it been funk. You wasn't one of these ones that ran into that bitch after 9/11. So stop it. Just stop it. You don't have to have done a thing in order to espouse that thing. If the thing is righteous, I want everybody saying it. The ones who did it, the ones who didn't do it, everybody. You sitting there on the panel of a show with a fucking DJ, and I don't know what the fuck Charlemagne was doing before this. Was he a rapper?
No, he was always in radio.
Okay, he was in radio. But what makes DJ Envy and Charlemagne qualified to sit there and have the opinions that they have and espouse to millions of motherfuckers and are as influential as they are to millions of motherfuckers? What makes them qualified to sit there and espouse those ideas?
Nothing.
Exactly. But she conveniently forgets that because that's the platform that's putting bread on the table now, kind of like that GI Bill was.
Right.
Right. So don't sit up there and be duplicitous like that. If you're going to go at the dude, there's a number of things you can go at him for. This is what has me thinking all these fuckers be in collusion, though, bro. Because they'll sit there and say, oh, look at this bullshit that everybody knows is clearly bullshit. And you'll either galvanize wrong-thinking motherfuckers to agree with you, or you'll make this motherfucker look like a martyr. And you'll pull in the independent vote because people can see, well, this is some dumbass shit to criticize the man for. Maybe there's something to this. That's kind of how Trump got in office in the first fucking place.
Yeah.
Because the media is sitting there throwing dumbass accusation after dumbass accusation at this man's feet that normal people can see, oh, yeah, this is some bullshit. So now it makes him look like the martyr that he claims to be.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's something to this dude. Maybe he is on the level. Maybe he's, and meanwhile, he's just a fucking other wolf in sheep's clothing. This is what makes me think these fuckers are in collusion. Because all press ain't good press, but all press is still press.
Mm-hmm. Well,
whether they talk about you or not.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. If Uncle Hotep don't fix his fucking workouts, he's definitely not getting my vote.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I can't trust a man that don't know how to work out. Let me ask you this question.
Go ahead.
Did blacks build this country? And how do you feel about that statement?
They had a hand in it, but as far as overall, hell no. Listen, and this is another one. This is some of that duplicitous shit. The people screaming that shit the loudest. My people built this country. My people built this country. They'll be the same motherfuckers when they hear Trump at a rally talking about make America great. They'll be the same motherfuckers talking about, well, when was this country ever great?
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
So you mean from the jump, your people built some bullshit, then, is what you're saying, in essence. From the jump, if this country was never great, good, or any of that shit, like you claim, then why are you sitting here wearing this shit like it's a goddamn Gucci parka? Huh? Flossing it like it's the shit. This country ain't Gucci. It's been Fucci ever since its inception. So take that fake ass shit off and quit talking like that, you dumb motherfucker. That's how I feel on that.
I agree, man. So another brother here, well, two things I want to address in the chat. One of them said, Hotep, I know you've seen the musical Hamilton. He's probably joking, but dude, when I saw niggas get up and go watch Hamilton, I was like, I can't believe this shit. Y'all really gonna go? Cause what do they say? White supremacy, and we built this country, and the white man was so bad. But you'll go and pretend to be the white man and dance and sing on stage. Meanwhile, this is Alexander Hamilton who fucking made this country the central banking capital of the world, practically.
Yeah. You know, they always want to sell that shit to us first because we do the best job at selling it to the masses.
Right.
We get that cadence of a Baptist priest and all that other shit going on, and we can sing and we can dance and all, and that shit is appealing. So if they can just rap bullshit messages in a black face, no matter what the message is, they know they can sell it to the masses. We was the one who kicked the door open on this civil rights shit. So all the other minorities, whether they want to admit it or not, look to us for the lead in that avenue. So if we say it's a thing, it's a good chance that a lot of them, it's that thing.
Right.
Yep. We're the OGs in this civil rights shit. So you get that. And then you just get the entertainment factor that progressive whites love to fucking utilize and fuck with and do all that other shit, you know, with the fancy hairstyles and the slick clothing and all that other good shit. So anytime they want to sell an idea to the masses, they always sell it through us first.
Right. Absolutely. Exactly. That's exactly what I saw. They were selling people. They were selling fucking Alexander Hamilton to black people, and now we running around screaming Alexander Hamilton. I remember they had to I was around the family and shit. They was playing the musical soundtrack, and it wasn't my family, like, you know, my immediate family, because I'd have told them turn that shit the fuck off. But I wanted to tell them motherfuckers turn that shit off, and they know all the words. Alexander Hamilton, however the fuck that shit go. I was so disturbed. Like, do y'all know who the fuck Alexander Hamilton was? Fuck him. Anyway, somebody in the chat, in regards to the blacks built the country, mentioned the name Benjamin Banneker. Benjamin Banneker didn't build shit. He designed some shit, but he didn't build shit. He's got a bunch of inventions, so I don't want to take that away from him. And he's a brilliant fucking mind, one of the most brilliant minds that have ever walked on American soil. But I think that's a poor example of talking about blacks building this country. Just because Benjamin Banneker was commissioned to do a job doesn't mean he designed Washington, D.C. He designed it. He did the, what's the thing? You look through the thing and, it'll come back to me. But yeah, he helped design it. But other than that, like, I don't understand this whole thing about black people built this country. It's just like,
man, look, just because you invented a fucking calculator or whatever the fuck you might have invented, and that was your contribution to this goddamn country, a stoplight or 800 ways to fucking flip a peanut, just because you do these things don't mean shit. You didn't build the country because you decided I want to make motherfucking peanut shampoo or whatever the fuck, right? If that was the case, then that shit would be on the seal of the goddamn dollar bill. But it ain't. Ideas built this country, right? Yeah, but products did not. Products is just products, all right? Products don't, so I don't want to hear nobody talking about, well, he invented X, Y, and or Z. I don't give a fuck about none of that. That didn't build this country. Ideas built this country, and those were ideas that did not come from us.
Correct.
And those ideas have not served this fucking world well. So quit claiming that you helped build this bullshit. Because listen, if the powers that be upstairs, if the universe is listening and decides you know what, you right, well, you got a lot of bullshit to answer for now, don't you?
Right.
You know?
Surveyor, thank you. Surveyor. He was surveying the land too. That was part of his job, to do surveying. Thank you, MTX Crypto.
Man, look, so this building is going to be X amount of feet from this building.
Yeah.
And that's what built get out of here. That's what built that street. That's what he did. He built that street or that city or that building. He did not build this country. Stop it.
I have no problem with saying the white man built America. I have no problem saying that.
No,
as a former black nationalist, as a former black supremacist, I have no problem saying that.
No, I don't have no problem saying that either. And I also know that it was a special kind of white man that had a huge role in that. But we'll just save that for some other time.
Here we go.
Nevertheless, yes, this is their shit. This is their shit. They can have it, bro. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, it don't matter what the fuck was built by a bunch of dead motherfuckers. What are you building? That's
Facts.
all that matters.
Facts.
Because, I mean, if a motherfucker could come back to life, if all them people that you say built this country can come back to life and see the state of repair of your personal life, they'd be like, damn, what was it all for? With a lot of us.
Right.
I know they would have been with mine about 10 years ago, and I'm just barely getting my shit together. But 10 years ago, they'd have been like, man, you're a drug dealing ass, a violent son of a bitch.
Right.
What did we do all of what we did for? to help contribute to this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even if you I just want to work a 9-to-5 looking ass motherfucker and tell everybody over fiber optics how my ancestors built this shit, what the fuck are you contributing though?
Right.
What are you doing? That's the only thing that should matter.
Yep.
Quit riding off of the motherfucker's glory.
Exactly. And somebody else in the chat here said, they always give that argument, when you talk about what America is, how America came to be about. So they're like, so where are you going to move to? You're going to move now because you don't like it here? And it's like, that to me is just the dumbest argument, because everybody knows that the central banking syndicate across all continents have ruined all countries, and which has given America one of the highest levels of comfort. What is the term they use for, standard of living, right? America has one of the highest standards of living. So are we lucky to be here? Yeah, we're fucking lucky. That don't mean the shit's perfect. It's like being with a bitch, right? You with a bitch and shit, and, she got big titties and a fat ass, but the bitch can't cook, right? You don't just say, hey, I'm going to go get another bitch. No, maybe just get your bitch some cooking lessons.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
You know what?
Mofax, what's your area code? I need you to call in. Mofax said, damn right we built this country. Mofax he kills me sometimes, man. Mofax, you're going to have to call in next.
Look, you know what I hear when I hear people say, oh, well, this is the greatest country ever. Why don't you go move somewhere else then if you don't like it? You know what I hear when I hear that?
What?
I hear a motherfucker right there who's willing to get fucked in the ass as long as the check is heavy. That's what I hear. Straight up.
Uh-oh.
That's what I hear. You willing to get fucked in the ass, pause, as long as the check is heavy. You one of them housewives that will allow their husband to beat the shit out of them, fuck 50 other bitches, and do whatever the fuck he wants because he's raking in a few million.
Right.
That's the only thing you give a fuck about, apparently, because that's the only goddamn thing this country has offered anyone in it, is the opportunity to make a lot of money.
That's correct. That's correct.
So as long as you... Go ahead. I was going to say, as long as you thinking, as long as I can do that, I don't really give a fuck. I'll turn a blind eye to all the atrocities and shit this motherfucker be committing worldwide.
Yeah.
That's you basically saying, well, yeah, they can do whatever they want to me or anyone else as long as I'm able to continue to make money and live good.
Okay. Exactly.
Which makes you a hoe.
Exactly. Hey, man, let me get the Mofax. He's calling in now. I'm about to get to his call next, yo.
All right, man. You take it easy. Hotep and Bill.
Mofax, I'm calling you right now. Pick up the phone, man. We're going to get Mofax on the line here. Mo.
Yes.
It's Hotep.
How you doing, sir?
Mofax on the line.
Yes.
Hey, man, niggas ain't built this country, bro.
You damn right we built this country.
How?
And I'm gonna show you why. If the redacted man say he built Egypt, would anybody say anything? Even though they didn't design it. Pharaoh had them out there building, right?
No, they never said they never said they built it. I never heard them say they built it.
There's a whole Disney movie about it.
Not about
when they go through Exodus, when they come out of Egypt. Yes, that's the whole point of them coming out of Egypt.
But Egypt had already been built.
No, hold on, wasn't they the slaves in Egypt? Allegedly.
Oh, you're saying it from that point of view. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Right, that's what I'm saying. When you say we built something, I didn't say we designed. Designing and building is two different things. That's just like if you build a business. You know what I'm saying? Or if you are an integral part of a business.
Yeah.
You would say, okay, I helped build that business.
That's different.
You know, even though, like,
saying I helped build a business and saying I built that business are two completely different things. The founder built that business.
No, but hold on. Like you said it before, and I'm not trying to make this an argument, but I just find it weird when everybody else say they helped build something, whether it's the nuclear bomb or whatever else. You know what I'm saying? How a disaster that was, people still take credit for what their role in it. But as soon as black people say we built this country, and I'm going somewhere else with this too. Because if it wasn't for us processing the natural resources on this country, being cotton, sugar, you know what I'm saying, and the other things, you know what I'm saying, you wouldn't have this country. The founders of this country had an abundance of natural resources, but they didn't have the labor to process it.
But who created
and
the
that's
demand?
what they use us for.
Who created the demand for those products?
England created the demand for the products. They needed sugar for their tea, and you know what I'm saying, and cotton for their textiles. And I'm gonna go somewhere else with it. Hold on. The mere fact of us being black made America what it is because it made white people galvanize with each other. If we weren't here in this country, they still be fighting these, you know what I'm saying, pocket wars. But they said, oh, we got the black man. I could come from England as nobody, and this is how they looked at it when they were transported here from the sales of England. I'm just saying for what history is. When they got here, they said, oh, we got a bottom class here of black people. So I am somebody in this country. And even Abraham Lincoln said this was a white country for white men. So that's what galvanized them together to have this patriotism, you know what I'm saying, and this sense of America. So they said, well, oh, we ain't on the bottom. Well, we would be on the bottom if we were in Europe.
But that was that was based upon false pretenses.
But I'm just saying, but yet and still, if our existence wasn't here, this country would be what it was. Now I'll shoot you some bail and say the way they frame it is clunky and it makes it easy to be, you know what I'm saying,
disassembled.
Not even disassembled, but it becomes a point of contention when it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what the Freemasons is all about. They said we're the great architects. You know what I'm saying? We're that great, but we ain't get down there building shit. We'll design it up.
Right.
But we need some slave labor, you know what I'm saying, to build it.
Right. You need people with the skills.
Yeah, and you just need muscle. You know what I'm saying? You need gig workers. And that's what we were. You know, they went to Africa and they bought us, or we were already here,
So
whatever
what do you
narrative
do
you
with
want to
that
believe.
information after you say, yo, we built this country? What's the purpose of that statement?
It's the same thing about what you was talking about, because non-black people want to say, well, you should be lucky to be here. What? We should be lucky to be here. I mean, that's very condescending and invalidating to say, you know.
Well, first of all, that's what he said was we should leave, right, and go to another country. But I agree with the statement that we are lucky to be in America. I do agree with that. We are lucky to be here.
Right, but we can't say we're lucky like immigrants are lucky. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's very disrespectful, because it's like, you just got here. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just got here and you gonna tell me what I should be lucky of? Nah. Yeah, you can't do that.
I see
you know what I'm saying? My blood, sweat, and tears of my ancestors in this land, and that's why I will never leave America. I'm gonna be honest with you, because for two reasons. One, I'm so tied in it, and then number two is the fact that white supremacy is a global system. Where the hell you gonna go? You know what I'm saying? Like, people act like it don't exist everywhere else. Look at South Africa; they got the numbers, and they still got the foot on their neck. Where the hell you gonna go to outrun white supremacy? Please tell me, and I'll go there today. I will sell everything I have and buy 6 tickets there and take me and my family there, but it don't exist. That's what I'm saying. Like, we got to be careful with words, and that's why words are important, because when people say you didn't build this, what do you mean? If you didn't have all that slave labor, you wouldn't have the country that you had.
No, they would. They got somebody else to do it.
Oh, the Indians, they didn't do it. The white man said, no, I ain't doing it. So they said, oh, they went to Africa and they bought us. Or if you want to say we were already here, whatever the thing is,
whoever
is
was
that
here
we were an integral part. Go ahead.
Whoever was here would have been the ones to do the labor. Somebody would have did it. It could have been white people. You got to remember, early America was built off of white slaves.
Right.
So you can't say they needed niggas to build this shit.
Right. But here's the thing. It's called the mud seal, because they wanted to elevate those white men, white slaves, to say we need to have our numbers. Let's elevate them, put the black people under them. They'll have something to be glad about. And that's why a white man that has less than you, Hotep, and less than me can say, at least I ain't a nigga.
Well, that was the
You know what I'm saying?
psyop.
That's what
But
they
that was
lean
the
on.
psyop. Well, that was the psyop to keep the white man under control.
Correct, but but you had to have that bottom there to keep them under control. And like I said, I'm not. This ain't no.
Well, they had several bottoms. It wasn't only black people was a bottom. If you wasn't Protestant, you was a bottom. If you was Irish, you was a bottom. If you was Italian, you was a bottom. So it wasn't only just black people at the bottom.
Yeah, but it's a gradient, though. You know what I'm saying? Because the Italian can look down and say, at least I ain't a nigga. The Catholic could look down and say, at least I ain't a nigga. The Native American can look down and say, at least I ain't a nigga. You see what I'm saying? Everybody had like, even now, when people come here across the border today, and they don't have anything. And you got ran out of your country. Grown military-age men get ran out of their country and want to talk sideways out their neck towards us. It's like, hold on, bro, you just got here.
Right.
You got to get some skin in the game first, because that's what I'm saying. It's very disrespectful. This ain't the This ain't the suffering Olympics or whatever you call it. You know what I'm saying? This is
struggle Olympics.
What this is honestly, oppression Olympics. Leave me the hell alone and let me do my thing. But when y'all drag us into these conversations, not you, but when these politicians drag us into the conversation, you can't tell me what my contribution was to this country.
Right.
No. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to be off and on doing our own thing. The NOI said that. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Garvey said that. You know, we want to do our own thing, but yet and still, what happens is the Democrats drag us back in, and then the Republicans use us for a punching bag. You know what I'm saying? And they having this fight. Go ahead.
But Mo, you know, saying that you had a contribution to this country when that contribution was unwilling is like saying, yo, this dude just stuck his dick in my ass and busted a nut, but at least he feel better and I contributed to his satisfaction. That's what you saying. I gave this motherfucker a nut, and I'm happy I gave him a nut. Pause.
No, hold on. That's not
that
what
is
I'm
the
saying.
equivalent. If the white man shit on you,
equivalent.
if the white man shits on you and makes you do his bidding and farm his fields and build this country that's got all these different pronouns running around, and you come back and be like, well, I contribute to that shit. Why the fuck would you want credit for some bullshit?
No, what this is a reaction to somebody saying you're lucky to be here. You know what I'm saying?
That's not a good reaction. That's not a good reaction.
No, what I'm saying is it's a natural reaction. That's just like if your woman tell you, that's just like if your woman tell you, you lucky to be with me. And it's like, bro, I put you in the red bottoms. I put you in this mansion. I gave you that Porsche. I'm lucky to be with you. Are you serious? You see what I'm saying? That's a natural reaction. Now, that might not be the most masculine reaction. Okay. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a, like you said, it's a psyop. It's a psyop.
Okay, at least we can admit that.
Because honestly, right, every even race don't like really exist.
Right.
But it's like, why did you create color and not? You know what I'm saying? Why are we still doing this colored thing?
Right.
If it don't exist, you know what I'm saying? Because they want to reestablish black people being the bottom. You got some, like you said about the Catholics and the Italians and the Irish. Now you have the LGBT, you know what I'm saying, the illegals, everybody else, and they're like, we got to reestablish this bottom. And the black man going to be on the bottom of the bottom.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's just like my natural reaction is leave me the hell alone. I don't vote. Why? Because you're saying both of y'all two wings on the same bird, so leave me the hell alone.
Yeah.
But if you drag me into the conversation, I'm going to give you an honest piece, and neither one of them like it. The Democrats don't like it because, like, damn, y'all been peddling, you know, saying black suffer for so long, and then on the Republican side, it's like, damn, we could win an election for you, but you rather lose and stay white than you saying to incorporate us and win an election. So it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, both sides, like, leave me the hell alone. Just let me eat.
Well, my thing is, I want to come back to the reaction. The natural reaction to an immigrant coming to this country and saying you're lucky to be here, the natural reaction is, no, motherfucker, you lucky to be here. That's the natural reaction, because that motherfucker left wherever the fuck they was at to come here, and they got here successfully. So the only person that had, you know, a modicum of luck is them.
But then, hold on. The other thing is, like, they try to say that as that we were cowards and we didn't fight back. But it's like, bro, you a military-aged man and you seeking asylum. Why don't you pick up a gun and fight in your country?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's the same thing. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's so triggering. The fact that it's so, what's the word I'm looking for? it's like so hypocritical that it's triggering. Have anybody ever seen something to you that's so hypocritical that it take you out of your pocket no matter how cool you are? It's like, damn, like the hypocrisy is thick on that one.
Yeah.
That's where we at with it. You know what I'm saying? We ain't asking for shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't even call reparations. I call it atonement. When the white man ready to atone to me, then we can talk. I ain't asking you for shit.
What does that mean? When a white man atones, what do you mean? Like, what is there like
because
one white man?
Because he know how this country was built.
Hold up. When one white man, like what god of white men is gonna come off his throne and say this? If they were willing to do it, who would that be?
No, but that's my point. It's a strategic move because I know you're not going to do that. So don't ask me for shit to vote. You see what I'm saying? You stay over there. The deal is when you come ask me for something, I'm going to ask you for something. If you don't ask me for something, I'm not going to ask you for something. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is the thing. When you're ready to atone, then we can talk politics. Until you get to that point, I'm not going to ask you for shit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But don't ask me for shit.
I see what you're saying. When they come and ask for the black vote.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not out here with no damn. I don't give a rat's ass about Juneteenth. None of this bullshit. You see what I'm saying? What I care about is just having enough space where me and my kids can grow. And that's how we really was. You know what I'm saying? We weren't really tripping off shit once we got out of slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think about it. Any other country, if they had a people that were there oppressed for that long, they would have to worry about an insurgency from that group.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the black man look at it like, damn, like, this shit cost us a lot, but it's pretty nice, you know what I'm saying? And, like, everybody trying to, like, we ain't dumb. We see everybody trying to come here, so it's like, damn, this must be the spot. It's like when you ride down the street, you see the club with the line is the place you want to be. Why the fuck would I leave that club, you know what I'm saying, go to a club that ain't got no line? That's stupid.
Right.
We not dumb, and that's the thing, like, we got to stop this, but I agree with you, too, to the point that we got to pick our language, and that's why I say I don't say reparations. I say atonement, because that's y'all make the first move. That's what Farrakhan was saying, you know what I'm saying, with the Millionaire March. First of all, y'all want to atone with us, then atone, but while we're waiting, we need to atone with each other.
Right. That makes
sense.
sense.
That's all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it ain't no big deal, but it's just that it's so disrespectful when everybody come here, and we gonna have to start getting excuse my language, we gonna have to start getting people straight, because it's like, you know what? You coming here talking that shit, we need to ramp up forced deportation. I'm talking about dragging everybody out. You know what I'm saying? Like going to these chicken factories and have them lined up on buses, one way, gassed up to go back across the border.
Like Vivek's,
you know what I'm saying? Y'all want to get nasty? We can get nasty.
Like Vivek's mama and daddy? We putting them back on the plane?
Anybody that got over here on some BS that didn't go through the proper channels, deport them strong. You know what I'm saying? Turn them around at the border. Now that's, if you want to be an eye for an eye, let's do that. Because, you know what I'm saying, ain't no punk over here.
Right. Big fact.
Because a lot of black people, like, you know what I'm saying, we got our stuff going on, but you ain't gonna run no black people out of America like they getting ran out of their country.
No.
Well, we saw that with Hitler, and they were saying World War II. Who were the first one to line up? Black men was. They wanted to fight. Hello?
No, I'm here. I hear you. You talking your
I'm just saying,
shit.
so it's just this cowardice thing that's tied to, you know, black people are docile or whatever. It's like, nah, we ain't docile, bro. We just want to be left alone. Like, honestly, we supposed to be like the Mormons. You see what I'm saying? Like, just let us find a spot so we can be ourselves. Like how the Mormons, they got ran all the way across this country till they found the spot nobody wanted in Utah. You know what I'm saying? They were left alone. Why don't y'all do that to us? You know what I'm saying? Just leave us the hell alone. Leave us out of y'all left, right, red, blue bickering. But no, y'all want to, you know what I'm saying, drag us into the conversation. Then when I tell something, both sides be mad at me. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So you're just going to be mad. It is what it is.
That's how I feel about Robert Ramaswamy. You know, he's always pulling black people into the conversation. He's like, yo, leave us alone. Just focus on your red and blue shit, man, and leave black people out of the conversation. But
right. That's why I keep telling you the only ally the black man got is the orange man, because the orange man's feeling it now. Just like with the White House and the cocaine. You know what I'm saying? Like now, nobody gets locked up. What do you mean? You know what I'm saying? Now y'all starting to see how this work, how we've been going through it, you know what I'm saying, for centuries. They do some shit right in front of your face and don't nobody get locked up. If that was a black person in a crack house, everybody would have went to jail until somebody flipped on somebody. I want that same energy.
Yeah. You know whose crack that was in the White House. We all know whose crack that was in the White House.
Coke head, so it'd be hard as shit. If I was a party bag.
It could have been everybody's.
Stop playing. You know what I'm saying? like you got the coke? Nah, I thought you had the coke. Nah, y'all thought you had the coke. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in there getting lit. 4th of July too. Stop it.
Oh man. All right, let me get to the next call. I got Strong Dad trying to get in here, bro.
All right, yeah. All right, peace out here.
All right, peace. Mo facts. Let's get Strong Dad in here.
The Text Now subscriber you were trying to...
Strong Dad, go ahead, hit the phone lines, get in here, yo. Come get in on this call. Real quick, make sure I go to my locals and get all my clips. I release my clips. Before I even release them, you guys get them first. My locals community gets them first. So go ahead and hold on. This is
Rudy the Vet.
Rudy the Vet. Russo on the line. Rudy, what up, bro?
What's up, man? All kinds of disagreement with you today, brother. All kinds of disagreement with you.
All right, what you got?
I ain't been to CCD in a long time. When the Catholics, when we're young, man, we had to go to CCD, man.
Yeah, I remember
Baphomet
CCD.
Baphomet's one of the 7 fallen, man. It's Lucifer, Mephistopheles, Lilith, Baphomet, Beelzebub.
Oh, that's what the church told you to say.
I'm just saying. So if they had died, I'm just saying you were like, man, that was just something they made up. If they adopted it and used it to fucking.
But the Catholics go off for the New Testament.
Bro, all I'm saying is
I was raised Catholic, so I know, and that's some New Ageism shit.
Right,
that's not where Baphomet come from.
The way you said it is like that. It was.
There's historical record, then there's religious record. If you want to go based upon the Catholics and the New Testament, that's on you. Historical record says something completely different.
Well, I'm just when the way you made it, it was like that they just made it up. Like whether they adopted it, you know what I'm saying?
No, it was completely fabricated, based upon occultic symbols.
Okay, all right. My biggest disagreement, though, and it's not with Robert Ramaswamy. I'm 100% with you. Dude's a grifter.
Yeah.
Dude's not gonna win.
Right.
But that chick was dishonest off the gate, man. Everything about her argument was dishonest. The minute she said, I'm an independent, that chick ain't never checked the box that said Republican in her fucking life, dude. First off. Second off, all she wanted to do was tear him down. She didn't want to have an honest conversation. And third off, if she was being honest, ain't no politician serving nobody, man. Now, if you join the military, yeah, you serve the country, man, at the will of a politician. But politician is all self-serving. Name a politician name a president since maybe JFK that has not been self-serving, dude. Name one.
I can't.
You can't. So for her, you need to be in service to the country if you're going to be in politics. A mayor's not a fucking serving the country. A mayor's serving himself. A mayor's getting paid to push his agenda on a town.
Well, my thing is,
governors same way. But for her to sit there and be like, "You never served the country," I think that Vivek Ramaswamy did more to produce jobs and money, just like Donald Trump did, than any fucking politician. So for her to act like, yo, you shouldn't even be running. You weren't even a mayor for why? Because he didn't grift off the taxpayer dollars from day one. She was being dishonest, bro. She was being dishonest, and I'm not.
I think she had a vendetta. I think she had a vendetta against him.
Yeah, I'm just like the overall point that she said that you agree with and I agree with is that you're grifting for self grandiosity. I'm 100% with you, my brother. 100% with you. But she was dishonest in her arguments right off the gate. Right off the gate, man. Right off the gate, brother. You know what I'm saying? So it's like And you know, Charlemagne the God is he made his name in the hip hop game. You know, stirring up beef between rappers and doing his thing. He made his coin. Respect to him on that. But dude can sit there and act like he ain't a grievance politics fucking. He's been on grievance politics since Donald Trump got in office.
Yeah.
And for him to fucking, come on, man, you're the one that was up there with Joe Biden when he said, "You ain't for me, you ain't black," and then he just kind of, "Well, I'm not saying I'm not for you." He didn't even push back on that. So that's what Charlemagne the God is. So he shouldn't even be. Vivek is on such a hard grift. He witnessed people who shouldn't even be in the conversation. Not saying that lady shouldn't be in the conversation. But DJ Envy and Charlemagne the God should never be in the conversation, dude.
Yeah.
Never.
I agree.
Absolutely not.
I agree with that.
Absolutely not. And a lot of what Mo was saying is true. But just remember, Mo, there was a time in this country when they would say the Irish will do for a nickel what a black man will do for a dime, and a white man used to get a quarter for. That's how they viewed the Irish when they first got here.
Say that one more time.
There was a saying back in the early 1800s that an Irishman will do for a nickel what a black man will do for a dime, and a white man would do for a quarter. You know what I'm saying?
I remember that.
So they you know, because the Protestant Catholic divide was tough in this country for the longest time.
Yeah.
And they hated the fucking Irish with a passion. There was a time when they hated the Irish more than they hated the fucking black folks, man.
That's facts.
But Aaron, he's also right, though. I'm with him 150%. If you're military aged, if you're 18 to 35 and you've come over here, you're one of them 7 million that have come over here these last 3 years, mass deportation of them motherfuckers. Surround them all up. Don't act like you can't do it. You gave them all cell phones. You can geo-track all of them. Scoop them back up, put them on planes, and send them back to where the fuck they came from. Because I used to work on a farm with some Jamaican dudes, right? And it was a watermelon farm. So, you know what I'm saying? Me and the Jamaican dudes, I used to run their crew, and then the boss's son would run the Mexicans. And I was cool with the Jamaicans, so we were pulling plastic out of fields, man. I'd grab it with the front end of a front end loader and peel it up. And then they'd ball it up and throw it in, and I'd let them sit in there where the boss's son would make the Mexicans walk and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I let the Jamaican dudes sit on the sides of the tractor, and as we rolled, you know what I mean? We got real cool. For 2 years, I worked with these cats. They hated the fucking Mexicans. You know why they hated the Mexicans? That Jamaican dude used to tell me, he said, because I came here the right way, cost me over $10,000. I had to take a citizenship test, and these motherfuckers come out here and undercut me by $10 an hour, and they don't pay taxes. They ain't pay shit. I hate them. And them Jamaican dudes was cool as a fan, man. And the boss's son didn't like pulling the Jamaican dudes because they actually had
skills,
some attitude to it. Well, they all had skills. I'm not taking nothing away from the Mexicans. They had skills too, dude. But they had pushback. Like if he would leave them and tell them to walk, they'd stand there until he came back and scooped them up on the tractor. Because it's like,
Jamaicans definitely stand on principle.
Yeah, they stood on principle. But see, I was cool with him, and the boss's son, like and there's gonna be a time when he takes over a $30 million a year farm, dude. So he's born of privilege, you know what I'm saying? So he just, when he got in his little moods or something, he'd just take off and the Mexicans would keep walking. But I never leave it. I'm from the street, so I would never let a crew go like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even off principle, even if I was working with the Mexicans, I wouldn't make them do that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he couldn't put his son with the Jamaicans because they gave him too much grief about the way he was, man. Because he was a spoiled child of privilege, man. I'm not taking, you know, I could call a spade a spade. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I just like, if that chick was honest about it, I understand the point you agree with, and I agree with you too. Dude is out there grifting hard, man. He's everywhere, popping up social media. They're pushing him. You know what I'm saying? They're pushing him.
Yeah, they pushing him heavy.
About, he's gonna be a good DP. But I'm also with you. I've seen what dude's a biotech guy. He's hand in hand with Big Pharma. He's from Harvard. What do I always say about, we don't need another Ivy League president, dude. That's the last thing we need is an Ivy League president, man.
Right.
The last thing we need is an Ivy League president. So I agree with you 100% about the grift part, but man, she was just too dishonest for me to take that conversation seriously, man.
I feel
she's
you.
not. She doesn't have any clue of what a politician is if she thinks politicians aren't self-serving. They're all self-serving.
Yeah.
Even the ones I like. Even Thomas Massey is self-serving.
My thing is,
you know what I'm saying?
My thing is, if I had a conversation with Vivek, it definitely wouldn't be to say, hey, you know, this is all just PR for you. Like, that's obvious, right? I'd want to have a bigger conversation and nail him on something else to just make him look like an idiot, you know, but it wouldn't be on his character or anything like that.
Well, you see, Sonny already got him on blast. The people in Chicago got him on blast, man. They already exposed his game, dude. He's trying to bring black conservatives, into the Republican fold, but there ain't no point. You know, that's not until they do what Sonny does and actually give them a seat at the table. Like I heard Sonny talk to Jim Jordan one day, and she went hard on Jim Jordan, and he took all of that. Why can't more of them be like Jim Jordan and go talk to Sonny? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you can see when they pushed back, and then Sonny tried to dig into him to get a real conversation going, and he folded away from him. Just like I used to love
Sonny.
Candace. I used to love Candace till she ran from Sonny. It's like, if you can't face Sonny, man, you're weak, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because she's that strong, arrogant black woman that, look, whoever her husband is obviously made her docile. You know what I'm saying? So obviously he's got machismo to him. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that woman's the fire and passion, but for her to come in there and be like, I'm an independent. First of all, you're not an independent. I could guarantee you, if we could get any way to look at her voting record, that chick's never checked the box for anything besides a Democrat in her life. You could tell by the way she came in to try to smash that dude down. And I have no problem with her smashing him down, to tell you the truth, because he's a grifter.
Yeah.
And a grifter needs a good lumping every now and then, man. A grifter needs a good lumping every now and then.
Big facts.
Man, she was.
But yeah, let me get strong dad in here before I go. I gotta leave out of here in a little bit.
I love you, brother. One quick thing, man. Hotep and Bill to everybody. Goldstein, I'm with you, man. Uncle Hotep 2024, man. Uncle Hotep 2024. All right, man. I'm out, man.
All right, later, yo. Strong Dad, if you want to call in, go ahead, call in. I'm gonna take Strong Dad's call. For some of y'all that have trouble getting in on the call lines, y'all got to get on the weekend grift, man. I'll be here on the weekends now. Y'all better call in on the weekends when the phone lines ain't as hot. Excuse me, and I got time. And sometimes I have about 2 hours for phone calls. Today I did a little bit long on the presentation, you know, because you were looking at that interview with Vivek. And I had wanted to watch it for a while, and I expected more from that interview. And I'm quite disappointed. Strong Dad, what up, yo?
What's happening?
Chilling, man. What's going on, yo? What do you think about today's presentation?
It was a good one, but I'm glad I had something to listen to, because I'm sitting here wrenching with the Chevy trying to replace a radiator. And I'm gonna tell you what, the founding fathers, the white man might have built this country, but he built a Chevy like trash, man. I gotta take apart all this shit, put it in one piece that's supposed to just slide right on out, man. I don't know, man. Just wanted to get that off my chest. Listen, I don't really agree with MoFac with all that. You know what I'm saying? I used to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still very much what someone would call a black national. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, to be honest, like even when I hear atonement, I don't hear anything. I was having this conversation with my wife the other night, because she was she's younger than me, and so I have a deeper history background, and she said, well, a lot of slavery did happen in this world, but I just feel like what happened to us was, the worst. And I vehemently disagree. You know what I'm saying? I disagree all the way down the line, because it just feels so bad what happened to us, because it's so close in proximity. We're only, we're not even 1,000 years removed from the things that have happened to us. But the whole shape of this world, cultures exist because of the moves that the black man made before he became slave. So for me, the prospect of atonement is like, if they're going to atone to us or pay us, then who are we going to pay out? You know what I mean? If we're going to go back in time, do the Celtic people who were a victim to Caesar, do they not matter? We got whole groups of Europeans that never existed because of people like this. So to me, the whole idea of atonement, it doesn't even anymore. You know, there was a time when I was thinking, you know, maybe they need to pay us. We deserve reparations for this and that, and they're not going to give it to us. That's not going to happen. And I got to be honest, I don't even care to ask for it anymore. I don't even care to ask for it anymore because black people can't get together long enough to pick a rapper that they like. Let alone to pay. You know what I mean? Like.
True.
They can't. We can't even say we black no more. You be in a group of 1,000 black people and say we as black people, and you're gonna have about half of them black people calling you all sorts of names. The other half of them telling you that, oh, we ain't black, we this and that. Like they still arguing over which God is the God for black people to follow on Sinatra TV. We're not even moving forward. We're not even moving forward. We've been spinning our wheels as a race of people since they let us go. The last time we was together on something was you know deep back in the day when we was having slave rebellions. Even then, there was some niggas trying to keep us on the plantation. We can't get. There's not enough of us, and there's not enough unity for us to even demand some sort of type of atonement, and they know that. That's why we ain't gonna get it, because we ain't got nothing we don't have nothing to hold them against. We can't even get black people to withhold their vote. We already know that the majority of us don't vote, really. But the ones that do, yeah.
Let me clarify what Mo was saying, because he clarified it for me. He's basically saying that's not a statement, it's a response, right? Like when people say, basically what he was saying is when, you know, red whites come and say, hey, you need to vote for us, or, you know, so then he says, all right, well, then atone for the sins of your ancestors, knowing that you're not going to do that and shouldn't do that. That was his thing. He's not saying that he believes that, though.
Okay. Well, I mean, from that perspective, I'm still going to say that, you know, I mean, obviously I'm a no issue voter. I like you, I only voted once and that was for Obama, and it was because he was black.
Right.
And I got no shame in admitting that.
I got no shame in that. Anybody don't like it, fuck it.
Yeah, you know,
I was a kid,
it
man.
is what it is.
What the fuck you want me to do?
Yeah, it is what it is. I was in college. I was swept up in the hope and change, and I was like, oh shit, black man. All right, you know what I mean? But to be honest, like, if something happens, if something breaks that is going to affect me as an American citizen in this country who's a felon, because let's be honest, they're not going to do nothing for black people, but there's if they do something to change the traction and the forward momentum for people like myself who are from the system, who have been incarcerated, who are violent felons, then maybe you'll see my name on the paper. Maybe you'll see me vote for something. That's what I'm holding. I'm not gonna hold out for atonement because it's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna hold out for reparations. It's not gonna happen. But if they say, you know, we're going to remove that box, that felon box from an application, or we're going to, and, you know, we're going to actually do something to decrease recidivism rates instead of just lying to y'all so that we can get your money, then maybe you'll see me vote for that person. But until then, you know, and even on the local level, there's a little effect on the local level where I'm at. Everybody is so far swung left that, you know, it'll just be like voting for the president. I'm voting against the wind, and it's going to keep moving like that in the state that I'm in right now. You know what I mean? So it's these things like this are the things that really should matter. You know, how does this affect your family? I got a small business, man, and if the next president's like, we're gonna make sure these small businesses come up hard, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna vote for the nigga. I'm gonna vote for him. Because I want my business to do good, and I want as little government intervention in my business as possible. I want, you know what I'm saying, I want to prosper just like motherfucking Walmart and all these other motherfuckers. I want that kind of money. I mean, not they kind of money, but I want that check. So I'll vote for that. You know what I mean? But other than that, this system is lost, man. You know, I'll vote for abolishing public school. I'll vote for that. You know what I mean? Things like that. But I'm not even gonna bother with this atonement thing, man. And also, Uncle Hotep not for president because Uncle Hotep can't get his motherfucking diet right. And you can't listen, man. Listen, if you cannot get your diet right, then all the exercise you're doing, it might as well be like voting for the president because you're not doing nothing's being accomplished. You're sitting in one spot until he stops showing up at Red Lobster or whatever the hell he at. You know what I'm saying? Eating them big old fish boils and whatever other meals. I don't even want to look at the YouTube because I'm scared to look at the YouTube to see what he is eating. But until you fix that, I can't vote Uncle Hotep, man. I'm voting Sonny Johnson, and that's it. Sonny Johnson for president. Period.
Well. Let me say this before I let you go because I got to make him run. All you niggas is whack, and I'm voting for Trump. Trump 2024 until somebody else cut me a check, because that's the only motherfucker that really had my bank account moving.
I said this to my homie. I was like, he said, if you had to vote for anybody, you have no choice. You got to vote. Who is it going to be? And I was like, I mean, I got to be honest, man. I need that money. I would vote for Trump. Period. You know what I'm saying? Biden going to take my money and give it to the T people. I'm not with that. Yeah. So, yeah, no, you ain't lying on that. You ain't lying. You ain't lying on that. But, hey, man,
let me get out of here, man. I got to make a run. I got kids practice to coach.
Hey, man, I got to finish fixing this motherfucking Chevy, man. Y'all have
good luck, man.
Bill.
Hotep and Bill, bro. Strong dad on the check-in. MD Brooks, thank you for the $1.99. He says she did not serve the country for free. Sarah Gobbledygook said her vision of service is self-serving, but she attacks him anyway. It's a no-win. Okay, no argument. Kofi Fiovich, he said, once you start thinking of government as an organized crime syndicate, everything begins to make sense. Exactly. Halik Edomite said, Uncle Hotep going to inspire young men to hit them kettlebells. Fellas, we're not doing the kettlebells, bro. At least we're not doing Uncle Hotep workout with them kettlebells. We got some better workouts. We're going to go live one day on TikTok, me and Uncle Hotep, and I'm going to be his personal trainer. I'm going to give him a nice little workout. 15-minute workout. Kill that nigga real fast. I'm Hotep Jesus. This is the Grift Report. We're here every Monday through Friday and sometimes Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. So check in. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you never miss a wonderful broadcast from yours truly. A lot of people ask me how they can support my channel. Well, go get some brain pills, man. TriMasterFocus.com. That's my company. Go get some brain pills. Help me help you. You know what I'm saying? The link in the description box can give you 30% off to make that super affordable. So you can get this nice supplement. Some people spend $1,000 a week on shots. It's only about $40 a month. TriMasterFocus.com. I'm out of here, man. See y'all tomorrow. I got a special guest coming tomorrow. Got Megan Kelly and another lady coming in talking about some things with pandemic preparation. They said, their expertise had a certain way to deal with the pandemic, and the powers that be came in and did the complete opposite of what they were trained to do, and then they were sacked. They were let go. So we're going to talk to them at the top of the hour tomorrow, and then swiftly move right into the Grift Report. So I'll see y'all back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, on time. Later. Hotep and Bill.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How I'm supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there, you understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.